be under our power. Your planet is about to be attacked.
Introducing hashtag Team Yahawashai, your portal to becoming actual reality witnesses. Only on the Yahawashai News Network.
Your planet's about to be attacked. This is the Real Flat Earth Friday. How are you doing, y'all? How are you doing this evening, brother?
I'm pretty good. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We've got a lot planned for tonight. Wow, a lot's taken place since last Friday.
Results are in. Results are in. We're going through the results tonight, and we're going to be seeing who has the model that predicted it the best. And there's only 5 models to go through, so there's not a lot to check out, except we're going to go into depth on each one of these models that made predictions. And, of course, we'll show you the one that we made a prediction with, and then it's going to be up to y'all to decide which model of reality you're going with, because this is it. There's only 3 ways to explain day and night, and one of them just got thrown off the table. The pressurized pizza dome single pole azimuthal, right?
Yeah, they're trying to like put duct tape on it and super glue and all this other stuff, but it's not going to work, right? Unfortunately, you know, we have been debunking the pressurized, what are they calling it now? Super plasma pressurized pizza dome. We've been debunking it since like 2015, 2016. Right? That's how long we've been doing it. Long before any of these glurftards even had YouTube channels, right? So a lot's taken place, Jason. What have you noticed so far since last Friday? So last Friday, we had the evidence that supposedly most flurfs are supposed to accept as the debunking of the sun circling around Polaris, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I've noticed is that there's been this huge push of the fake flat earthers putting out disinformation, trying to somehow come up with some sort of loophole takedown of the 24-hour circling sun. And I'm seeing just disinformation piling on top of each other, trying to somehow save this pressurized pizza dome that everybody said the 24-hour sun would fully debunk. And something that I find interesting is that so far it looks like Jaron and Whitsitt are trying to play this where they still are going to be flat earthers, which makes them penises in Jaron's own definition. So, I don't know that, and yeah, I was happy to see the real footage, the 24-hour time lapse come in, because what we've been wanting to do is compare it to our models and see whether or not it matches up with what we predicted. So there's that. I know that you've also thought of some predictions and stuff. What have you been seeing over the last week?
Yeah, so all the channels that I went on Bro Sanchez, I went on Fartzoid's channel, I went on Austin Whitsitt Melodome's channel, and I told them all, hey, you're gonna see the circling sun, right? Nachiketta's channel. I told them, like, there's already evidence out there, right? We've been saying that the sun rises way south of east and sets way south of west every single, November, December, January, February, March, all over the earth on the map. So we already knew that the AE map was destroyed. We just didn't have any credible footage until we found the 2021 December 4th Union Glacier Station total solar eclipse footage. So I've noticed that the majority of those channels, now I know Austin from the Melodome channel, he's a complete glober. He always was. He was a LARPing flurfer. He's a glurfer again, so I don't expect him to try to save the model. He's going to defend the globe now. He's putting out sunspot pictures, trying to make you imagine that you're rotating around the sun on an axis. So that's him off the table. I guess Bro Sanchez is giving Jake the asshole credit. I saw that. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. Good job, bro. And then you've got Fartzoid, who was my most recent. I joined on his podcast, and he's denying it at all costs. He's trying to say that the whole thing was fake, that it was filmed in a stage, that they did it on the North Pole last year. I mean, everything. He's putting together the most. So we are going to do Defending the Final Experiment footage podcast. It's not the exact title we're going to have, but we're going to actually go through and show everybody all the disinformation that's being created. So the glurfer side, they're the ones that actually create the disinformation so that they can come and debunk it and publicly gain some kind of power. Right. So the first change that I saw that was a large one was that if you're posting the AE map as an actual model of reality on Twitter X, you're getting a community note that says, actually, no, it's not. Here's the link. The fact check takes you to Dave McKeegan's 24-hour footage of the sun circling in Antarctica. So right off the bat, we've got Twitter working with the Final Experiment. Will Duffy, or Doofus, lack of a better term, he's been saying that Facebook groups are now banning people from using the AE map, which is hilarious because we've been trying to get that thing destroyed. So, he wants to burn the projection. Will Duffy's doing the good old, World War II, World War I burning of anything. It's just a projection, the AE map. It doesn't need to be burned. You can use it for multiple instances. So I've already noticed a huge shift in the trolls. So the glurfer trolls, they're out in full force, running around, swinging their axe, thinking that, they've finally won the debate that now the Earth's a spinning sphere, right down to like posts on Facebook. I'm taking screenshots. We're going to go over it again with that special Defending the Actual 24-hour footage podcast that we do. They're saying that it proves that we live in a Big Bang infinite cosmology universe where, everything spins around nothing. I mean, it's just getting to the absolute most crazy, ridiculous point possible. And I'm really grateful. I'm grateful that anybody that's been tuning in here, at least since I started my channel back in, I guess, Flat Earth was 2015, but I was doing, the hoaxing community during, the Ebola outbreak and all the different things. I'm really grateful that anybody that's tuning in didn't have to, go through this trauma. So they've inflicted a lot of trauma on anybody that believes in the pressurized pizza dome, right? I know we're going to add the word, was it pressurized plasma pizza dome they're trying to add into it. Nobody that tunes in here was devastated by the results because we were the strongest proponents of it. We've been the one that was arguing for it for the longest time. So that is what I've seen. I've already seen a big shift in they're starting to say, nope, flat Earth is debunked because of the final experiment. And that's just not on YouTube. We're saying that that is the fact checkers already on Twitter and soon to be Wikipedia and YouTube to follow.
Absolutely. I want to say hello to all the new people that might start tuning into our content as a result of us being the only ones that have a model that explains this. So we're not going anywhere. This whole 24-hour sun thing in Antarctica is a confirmation that the models that we use are accurate. And so we're not going anywhere. Welcome to the channel. Look in the description box. We've got 10 fundamental truths that we stand by. I'm sure you're going to have questions about them. The questions are starting to come in. And I just want to let everybody know that, like Ronnie said, we're going to be doing that podcast coming up that's going to be specifically sort of defending what actually did take place, because there's so many fake flat earthers right now creating this nonsense. We'll be doing that live stream, and I just want to let people know that because we have the answers to so many of these questions that people have. How do you explain a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Well, that's what we've been doing for the last 7 to 8 years now. So what we're going to be doing is making a video that's going to be the introduction to the stereographic biblical virtual reality model and the 10 fundamental truths. And so what that video is going to try to be is something that's as short as possible, maybe a half an hour, might be a little bit longer, that basically gives a person the full rundown on what the stereographic biblical virtual reality model is, the 10 fundamental truths. Now, it's not going to have all the explanations for all those things, but it's just going to put things in order so that as you start checking out the content that we've been doing, it'll just help it all make sense to you as quick as possible. So it's going to be an introductory guide to people that are now just finding out about us because we have the answers for what took place in Antarctica with the 24-hour sun.
Yeah, back in 2016, September 11th, I was literally showing Jaron the path of the sun around the observer in Ushuaia. Right? In 2016, September 11th. I mean, so what people might not know also is that Jason and I were our very first podcast that we did after an interview where I interviewed Jason. It was on a channel that we named and we still have called Beyond Flat Earth. So we were instantly beyond flat Earth. We still are. We're going to continue to talk about the floor of reality, but we don't just talk about that. We talk about the sky, the boundaries, everything about it. So let's move on to my next section of this intro section of our podcast. I've got another prediction for everybody. You're going to be excited to hear this one. I bet you Mark Sargent's probably rolling around on the other side of the camera right now. There is a very good chance the final nail in the fake flat Earth coffin, they are going to send Mark Sargent to space. It's probably going to be Jeff Bezos with his space program. He or Elon or Elon. I'm not ruling out who it is, but I'm almost guaranteed it's going to probably be David Weiss and Mark Sargent, but I'm putting all of my chips onto it being Mark Sargent. So I just want to make sure everybody heard me again. So Jaron was used. We predicted that Jaron was going to be used to destroy the AE map model. We were way ahead of it before he even did Behind the Curve. Right? Jason was already doing sleuth interviews. Jason went to a meetup at Patricia Steer's mixer, right? And was actually filmed and put in that movie as a hit piece against Jason and his information, where what you actually said was, telling the truth and finding the truth as reality does sort of push family members away. So we were so far ahead of it. I'm going to repeat it again. There is a very good chance all of the patterns that I'm seeing, it's all painting a narrative that they're going to say, okay, you guys still don't believe that the 24-hour sun debunks your map and model. We're going to send you, Mark Sargent, to space, and he's going to go up like they all do and float around, and he's going to be like, oh, wow, space, the earth is curved, and that'll be it. That'll be everywhere, because there's only one flat earther that was more popular than Jaron, right? And that's Mark Sargent.
And Mark Sargent's whole thing has been, put me in a spacesuit, put me in a spacesuit. So, yeah, when you came up with that idea, I was like, ooh, that's a good prediction. I could see that one coming true. And we still keep track of the ones that we've made. My prediction is that some of these big names are going to be throwing the Bible under the bus soon, saying that biblical cosmology was wrong. So we got to go through these models and debunk each and every one of them. It's coming from the whole fake flat earth pressurized pizza dome crew, these new fake models. And they're horrible. It's so bad. It's unreal. Like, really, anybody, if you fall for any of these models that have come out, just go, don't come back. So
let's touch on this before we go to our next song break. Listen, okay, the flat earth community, the majority of them are NPCs. Okay, they're not real players. Okay, they're non-player characters inside of our virtual reality, and they're there for a good reason. Okay, but listen, Will Duffy was the one who brought Joe Hanvey onto the scene. I'm going to repeat that. Will Duffy debated with Joe Hanvey and Wendy with an I on Facebook before he came to YouTube. So Joe Hanvey was the guy that they're using. They're punking and trolling all of the NPC pressurized plasma pizza domers. They're punking you all. Anybody that's tuning in here that's not an NPC and you believe that Jaron was real and that Witsit is real, you are all being played. I'll say it really slow. Joe Hanvey was created to make the flat earth fail. His model is ridiculous. He has the picture of a moon as the earth's surface. He doesn't have landmarks or continents. He says he uses the moon map. Okay? Everything about him was set up to mock and troll the fake flat earth. He's not real. And he ties right to Will debating with him and Wendy with an I on Facebook. This is either Mossad, MI6, CIA, whatever group it is, Unit 8200. They created all of the narrative here. And we also have, enter into the game, Stephen Alonzo, the guy who's taking the Walter Bislin, the computer program that was created to mock flat earth, showing how impossible it is. We've been showing it for years, or at least over a year. Jason's been using the Walter Bislin to say, look how stupid this is, that you'd actually think this is an unattainable, unrealizable reality. So I'm going to say it one more time really slow. Joe Hanvey was brought into the YouTube scene as a steel man to help take down the flat earth with Will Duffy. Now, I believe Alonzo was picked up later because for a short period of time, Alonzo was actually doing advanced flat earth. He was corresponding with us, and he was about to make the actual map that we use, right? The two-pole stereographic biblical virtual reality with the actual local observations attached to that. But all of a sudden he went dark, and when he came back, he was acting like he had won some big prize or something, and that he had now figured out how the flat earth would work, and all he did was take the Walter Bislin and try to superimpose it over an impossible single pole map. Jason, do you want to add anything to that?
That's it, yeah. So he does have a great tool, and I can't wait to get to that part of it. I love models, and I mean, the reason why I figured out that the AE map and model was impossible is because I went to SketchUp and tried to model it because I wanted to make diagrams to show people how the sun goes around in a circle overhead, and everybody go ahead and model it, and you'll end up like me. So I enjoy the models. Well,
so you continued. So guys like Tiger Dan was one of the first characters that we were telling, hey, go ahead and model it. Tiger Dan tried to model it. He quit flat earth. So, Jason, you're a little different because you knew that Earth was a virtual reality. I have a question for everybody here. We're sort of having, this is a laid back, we don't have a time limit. This is the, the don't be evil holiday time of the year, right? So why do you think on the other side of the screen, characters like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Elon Musk, two or, some of the supposed smartest people in the reality that we're in, why do you think that they tell people that they're living inside of a simulation / virtual reality? Why do you think that is, you on the other side of the screen? Do you think maybe that they've already done the experiments and the observations that Jason and I have been doing for the last 8 years, and that they themselves know that it's not possible that they live in a Big Bang heliocentric atomistic reality?
I think they've been to Antarctica and they stood there and watched the sun and moon rotate around them, staying above the horizon. Moon above for 14 days at a time, sun for half a year at a time at the poles, and you can see it illuminating right out at the horizon. So that's 10, 20 miles depending on your elevation, everybody. And when you see that happening around you, you're going to know that you're in a virtual reality. It's obvious.
So that is the answer. So they know that they're in a virtual reality, right? Characters like George Smoot, he was so far ahead of everybody, going around teaching people that he knew that most people were going to be virtual reality deniers. Listen, we here are non-planet characters. We're real sentient beings inside of these avatar suits. We've been reincarnating here for roughly 6,000 years. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. The only thing that's different this time is you've got Will Duffy and Joe, his steel man partner. A steel man is when somebody actually is your opponent, but what they're doing is making your argument stronger. It's instead of a straw man, they're steel manning. Joe Hanvey has been brought in with these models to make flat earthers look even more ridiculous than you could ever imagine. And same with Stephen Alonzo. I don't know, he's from Belize. If what he wanted to do was advance flat earth, but the problem is, everybody, if you're sharing truth, if you're actually teaching what reality is, you get pushed out of the views. You don't get to run with the pack. You get completely blacklisted, right? So Alonzo decided to go with the crowd. When we were trying to tell him, hey, this is the truth, you can't debunk it. We've tried, right? And if you can, show us and we'll stand with you. And unfortunately, nobody has been able to. The Glober's best model is a video game. They don't even have a model. They have a video game where you can create a solar system and you can set the gravity and then spin the planets around and you can blow them up. Nobody has a globe model that actually shows rise and set angles. It doesn't show the universe as a whole. It doesn't show even the Andromeda Galaxy, let alone the Milky Way galaxy, coalescing together, flying through infinite outer space. There is nothing but the actual ground-based observations that have been taken with theodolites for thousands of years, charted down the 18.5-year cycle for the moon, right? And then the yearly cycle for the sun, how it goes through its path. Enoch wrote all of that down nearly 5,000 years ago. And it's almost like 100th of a degree per second from him. So again, here we are. This is a virtual reality. And again, I'm going to repeat it one more time, Jason, because we know in this world and this type of stuff, the only way to get people to completely understand what you're saying is to repeat it. Joe Hanvey is a Will Duffy steelman partner. He's been brought in to make flat earth look even more stupid, and we're going to show the evidence of it tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you got lots of popcorn. Make sure you got, I don't like people drinking pop. If you have freshly ground coffee, maybe that's good, but it might keep you up at night. Just some lemon water, and enjoy, kick back. Let's have a good time tonight. We're not here to, call anyone names. We're just here to show you the evidence. Jason's got a lot of links. We've got a lot. Even QNFEE is going to make a return. Wait till you see what this guy tried to hide on one of his third or fourth backup channels that we never saw before. He thought he could debunk the coordinate system measurements, huh? Wait till you guys see this.
Yeah, so if you're younger and like video games and stuff are more relatable to you, some of the spiritual talk that you hear Ronnie saying, like reincarnation, if those words don't mean a lot to you, it's like respawning. And so there's a whole bunch of ways that we can compare the world to a 3D video game, and we're going to talk about what this video game entails. But first off, we got to show you, everybody, that all the other models, they put up a poor performance. In our opinion, we're going to have to show them to you and see what you think. So unless if you got anything else, brother, let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll get into it.
Naturally disastrous.
We are back. And we got the evidence from these guys that we've been looking for, right?
Yeah, finally, we got the actual data that matches the model that we've been using.
Absolutely. So tonight's not going to be dedicated to going through and doing the
Steel manning.
steel manning, yeah, where we actually have to support some of this stuff. But I do want to point out the real obvious right here, that the camera's not level. I mean, you're looking out here towards the horizon, and the camera's not level. So that's a super important thing when you're taking, the camera rotating around. If it's not plumb to the ground, you're going to get a wobble to it, and people are going to bitch about it. So I should have leveled it up. But let's go ahead and watch this. I want people to be familiar with this area. We've been showing it this Union Glacier clamp. We know it well enough to be able to say that's looking southeast. So let's hit play on this.
Are you sure that's southwest?
Southwest. I'm sorry, southwest.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, so coming around here the sun is going to get to its lowest point.
Now we're due south.
Now we're due south, and then it's going to start climbing again.
The shadows work. That's exactly what you'd expect. It's the shadows that match the Andrew Marsh program on the flat plane we've been using.
All right, so it's still climbing, but I want to do a pause here, and I want to point out to everybody that now we're looking basically to the east. And so we have an opening here between this hill and this hill over here that we can find on Google Maps, and we can know the distance between these two locations. All right?
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know, too, that's tuned in here. Why is it that they didn't do any flat Earth measurements while they were there? None. Nothing. They didn't do any experiments to see if the ground was curving.
Yeah, I'll show you why they didn't do the measurements, because there's a lot of missing curvature between this hill and this hill over here. A lot of missing curvature. And so the sun climbs and climbs and climbs to its zenith.
Yeah.
And once it's at its highest point, we're looking due north.
You better be careful. QNF is going to come and defend the globe if you don't say things correctly.
I know. I'm careful. So the thing is to fake this, everybody, you have to get every single shadow right.
It's impossible. I mean,
it's not an easy task.
You can use Unreal Engine, and you can create this scene in that program. It would just take a lot of work to do.
It will. So you got to look at
more work than just flying there and doing this like they did.
You got to look at every single thing that casts a shadow.
Well, they're even using this to debunk the moon landing debunkers. They're saying because flat earthers are so stupid that they're trying to debunk the shadows in this, that means that the shadows in the moon landing are now real. That's what Will Duffy was saying in his stream.
We'll come around here and
that's it.
Back to where we started. So the way it splices together is being moaned about, and we'll show everybody in that next stream how that's not something to moan about. It's actually what's expected.
But so this is the go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just going to sum it up and say this is what Jaron and Whitsitt and Lizbeth had to own up to. The fact that the sun stays above the head and does circles overhead, moving from right to left. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is the footage that's now being used on Twitter. If you post anything with the AE map and say that Earth is flat, they go, no, it's not. They say that it's round, it's spherical, and that we live in a Big Bang created universe, and then they give you the link to this video.
Yep. So let's go ahead. I want to jump to... I'm going to start with Doofus and his recent thing that he did. This was yesterday, and we've got a timestamp here that we want to play for y'all.
Grace just commented and said, "Where is your model, Will? Still waiting from your debate with Flatzoid. You never produced your globe model. Where is it?" I did. I had a globe with me during that discussion.
he had a globe with him. I mean, that's hilarious, right? So he used that globe model that he was carrying to make a prediction.
No.
No. 100th of a degree per second.
The toy spinning globe doesn't have any way to measure any angles to anything.
Discussion, and the globe model is accurate, that it would settle the debate.
There isn't a globe model. This is the stickler point here, that they don't have a model that they can point anybody to that's a 3D model to scale that shows all the motions of the luminaries as they say they are, right? So they say that the sun is 864,000 miles in diameter. They say it's 93 million miles away. They say all these things, but they don't have a model that they can use to show it, because it's beyond the scope of being able to even be made.
It's unattainable. It's not realizable. And that's because it's not real. And that's the argument that they take, because they've strawmanned the flat Earth being an AE map and model, right? You can see how they've backhandedly. Will knows that they don't have a working model. The best thing that they have is a video game, right?
Yeah, so they try to take what we have against them and they try to use it against us, but we actually have the model. We're going to be going through it and sharing it, and Will doesn't, right? He says this.
He's got to use our model.
But I did know, because we live on a globe. On stage, he even told me he could afford it. He doesn't need a free trip from someone. So if he doesn't accept it, I want to make sure he's there next December. Or if he does accept it, then he doesn't need to go. And I just want him to publicly say he accepts the 24-hour sun, and that what he said from stage is accurate, that it would settle the debate. Okay.
So he's talking about D-nodal, by the way. That was all about D-nodal, who was, again, like Hanvey, strawmanning everyone that you know. Dean also ran for governor, by the way, governor, someone that's involved in the government, which is the most satanic. You know, you can't
Freemason,
unless you're a Satanist. Okay, so, and then not just Freemason, Satanist, all of them adversarial to the truth. Anyone that's gone around and pushed that there's if there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, it proves globe. Anyone that you've heard say that word has been working with Will and his team the entire time.
Someone named Love Morgan Love and Grace just commented and said, "Where is your model, Will? Still waiting from your debate with Flatzoid. You never produced your globe model. Where is it?" I did. I had a globe with me during that discussion. And the globe model is easy to research and to look up. The globe model makes predictions, and those predictions come true. As I mentioned before, I'm still waiting for a single globe prediction, future globe prediction, that has a geographic location, a date, and a time that flat earthers think will not come true, because the Earth is a flat stationary plane and not a rotating globe. The reason...
All right, so he says that, and we've gone through sending them emails with links to this, timestamps to this. This was the last call for the final experiment predictions. 3 models of reality compete, and the winner is. So I was responding to challenges that Will's put out. There was this one that no flat earther has ever been able to come up with some sort of globe prediction that hasn't come true. And then he had 3 other challenges as well. And there were answers for all of that, right? We covered all of it. He did respond, like he acknowledged that he got the content, and then there was crickets. He didn't actually say that, I got a response from Awake Souls.
Well, he's still talking about you being in the past tense. He wants you to be in the present tense. He still created a lying by omission situation where he just doesn't think that you can understand that. And what you're showing on the screen here is on the solstices, due to the supposed tilt of Earth along its axial rotation, the only time you would actually ever get a 90 rise 270 set on Earth would be on the solstices. And that is a globe prediction. Now, unfortunately, Will isn't intelligent enough, obviously, to understand that. So we'll find out next time we get into a debate, whenever we get into a situation where we can actually talk to any of these glurfers. We're going to continue to bring their nose back to the piss that they put on the floor, and we're going to show them, here is your piss on the floor, your model, and here, stick your nose in it until you guys can repeat back to us that you understand what it is we're showing you. Again, the arrows indicating on the screen here that the earthly equator is lined up with the ecliptic plane, and the Earth, if it were to be rotating, right, as Will Duffy just said, show me a globe Earth prediction that's yet to come true. It's this one. This is the only place, the only time of the year that you would actually measure a 90-270 sunrise sunset ever.
And at the equator only. Yeah, so they're 20
sphericity, right? As you move upwards on the sphere, your angles don't make 90-270.
They're 23.5 degree tilt, the way they tilt the Earth sideways like that on an axis. That really burns them in the butt when it comes to these types of things. So I just want to point out that the only way that you can make predictions is based off of models. And so this is a model, and based off of it, we make predictions. You can't just say that the sun rises 90-270 at the equinox and then have this tilted 23.5 degrees sideways to the sun, and the model actually shows that nowhere would there be a 90-270 sunrise or sunset on Earth at the equinoxes. That's what the model shows. That's what the prediction is.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're a liar. When you lie and you have to create what's called ad hoc theories to make your supposed theory work, you run into more errors. Okay, so they have to have the Earth tilted, and that's the only way that you could supposedly have the 24-hour sun in Antarctica and in the reciprocal on the antipode on Polaris to have it around the northern Arctic. They say that due to Earth's elliptical orbit around the sun and its tilt, that's the reason why you should see the non-setting sun as it's in the winter months. The tilt is towards the bottom of the globe, is tilted towards the sun. And then in the summertime, they say the top of the globe is tilted towards the sun. Right? But the problem is when you do that, it throws all the other angles and observations right out the door. They become null and void. They become irrational errors, like Jason's pointing out here. And we're going to continue, I said, to bring your nose to the piss on the floor and rub it in it. And it doesn't matter how confident Will Duffy and his internet troll glurfers are. You are not correct. You are wrong. And we're going to continue to do this every single day until you get it, until you finally get it.
So right there, tomorrow, the observation is tomorrow. Will the sun rise at 90 degrees east at the equator instead of 270 degrees west at the equator? Because that's what the heliocentric model predicts. We know it's not going to, but
no.
Let's trying to remember which stamp we were at. Let's see what we got here.
Wow. Okay, so there's a guy named Sean Hibbler, and predictions, and those predictions come true.
Sean Hibbler, that was my timestamp, and then it jumped. I
mentioned before, I'm still waiting for a single glow prediction,
go back.
Future glow prediction.
What happened?
That has a
I told you, I went to play it and it jumped. I'm looking for the Hibbler.
Yeah, it was just right there. He started off by saying Hibbler. Let me try to see if I can get you that time. Go ahead and play it again.
predictions, and those predictions search and model is
it's at 2002.
If that's the best answer, is that you guys think we were using a green screen. Wow. Okay, so there's a guy named Sean Hibbler, and I invited Sean Hibbler as one of the original 24 for the final experiment.
Original. Wow.
The reason I invited him is he's actually a pretty big flat earther, and he also makes documentaries. He makes flat earth documentaries. They usually have the word level in them, and I've watched them all.
Oh, wow.
He never responded to me once. I tried everything I could to find him, contact him, reach him. I sent emails to him through his website. He has a contact us form on his website. And I thought it would be cool early on if he would get involved and, maybe even film the documentary.
That's the stop right there. That's the stop point. Okay. Does everybody see how much of a lying, conniving, seething, not trusty con man this guy is? That doesn't mean that the 24-hour sun wasn't witnessed. Okay. We're still going to defend the observation. But what I want you to know is that they set it up. This is Judas you're looking at. So, Jason, go to your interview with Will Duffy, please. Tell me about that next.
The reason why he wanted to have Hibbler as part of the 24.
Early on, he said. Early on, I wanted to reach out to him. Early on, he reached out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Is magnetic to have recorded such an event. What do you think of that idea? Will RJ... It jumped again.
It's there. Keep going.
No. Shine score a point with his suggestion if you use it.
Keep going.
No, we're not going to the South Pole. I think you guys should probably do that if you want to. And by the way, which South Pole is he talking about?
You tell us.
The magnetic one, dumbass.
Magnetic, of course. He said a compass. He didn't say a theodolite.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of documentary or movie being made in association with the final experiment?
No.
No.
Rich Spillman asks...
Pause it. That's it. Every single thing that this guy did was an absolute lie, except for the observation, right? Except for the observation that they did. That was real. That I will defend. He said there was no documentary. Yeah, he said he reached out to Hibbler early on. His quote, Will Duffy's own words. Early on, I reached out to him because I wanted him to film the documentary.
I just want to point out here that I made him sit here with no model over his head and working model over here, because right here is the model and the predictions
of the
sun.
Right, everybody, what Jason's explaining is there's your altitude and azimuth, your rise and set, your daylight hours, everything, date and time, latitude and longitude, everything. This is what a model has to have. It has to have measurements on it that you can actually predict and match with reality. Now, there is no globe Earth model with those predictions on it. And we just showed you the one that had it. And what it tells you is that on the solstices, the sun should rise due east and set due west.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is Union Glacier's coordinates right here. These are the days. And he's got no model. And he said there wasn't going to be any documentary. He's a big fat liar. He asked Hibbler to be one of the participants because he thought that he would make the documentary.
Yeah, right. That's a lie. He's just using that to mock Sean Hibbler.
All right, so I've got
statements.
I've got this timestamp here, which is sort of a double one. We've covered this before, but this is going to be a staple around here.
I'll just say this one more time quickly. Flat Earth doesn't have a model because you can't model something that doesn't exist.
Again, what we're showing you is the things that make them weak. Will says like it's his proof, his power, when he doesn't have a model. We're the ones with the model. On the right side of the screen, Jason's model is predicted on a flat plane, right, with your angles measured from the ground, the flat plane up.
Stationary plane with a moving sun. That's how it works.
Right angle measurements that are done off of a flat plane.
No model is the Spaceballers.
And then anyone that's tuning in, we don't believe in the pressurized pizza dome. There's no ice wall containing the oceans. Right? No. We believe in the biblical reality that it's water that surrounds the earth and that we live on the islands inside of the water. Okay. And the firmament is actually Raka, which is the ground. That's what just supports the heavens. That's what's beaten out and stamped. And the sky is actually a vast, great expanse that showeth the handiwork, and that which be the stars.
Well, here comes the biblical aspect of it right now.
Don't have a model. Just like you have models, we have models.
Neither of these two have models. That's what we're going through tonight.
All right, Big Daddy Globe says, Ryan, you got to reel this one in, man. I'm doing what I can. I
He's
don't know what he
doing
means.
good.
I don't know what you mean by reel it
Ryan's
in.
doing awesome, man.
Actually, this came in, I think, right around when it was right after I'd said, we can have a theological debate, down the road. I think that would be interesting, since you guys you really seem to have some fire under your
Theological.
So let's ask that next super chat. Young God Creationist says, question.
Young God Creationist. What a name.
Yeah.
Theoretical, the Bible would be false too. What is QTWD? What's that stand for? Hold on.
Question for Will Duff.
I'm not up.
Oh.
Right around.
Will knows.
when
Go figure.
It was right after I'd said, we can have a theological.
It glitched again, but we're close to the
I
spot.
think that would be interesting, since you guys you really seem to have some fire under your ears for that one. So let's ask that next super chat. Young God
Fake
Creationist
fighters.
says, question, theoretical, the Bible would be false too. What is QTWD? What's that stand for? Hold on. I'm not up. on my
Oh,
lingo.
question for me.
Oh, sorry. That's okay.
QF.
Yeah, right. Question for, Will Duffy.
two,
All right.
question two,
Theoretically,
Will Duffy.
the Bible could be falsified too. Hey, it's their first super chat. Thanks so much.
I think yes. I think the Bible could be falsified. How? I'm not sure at the moment, but I think absolutely it could.
Pause it. So we've been saying since like 2017 that the AE mapping model was created so that they could link the Bible to it and then debunk both. Right? And that is exactly what Will Duffy's trying to do.
And here is a sermon from Will Duffy.
So please, I beg you, we have to stop claiming that the 10 Commandments prohibit lying. That's not true. The 10 Commandments prohibit bearing false witness against your neighbor.
That's a lie.
Okay. We finally get to my conclusion on the matter of lying and deception, and that is this. After carefully looking at both sides of the debate, and after taking a very deep dive into
He didn't say preponderance of evidence, though.
Not yet.
everything I could possibly find in Scripture regarding lying and deception, I have come to the conclusion that neither lying nor deception are inherently immoral.
What? How could he say that, everybody?
He got to that conclusion from the Bible, he says.
How could he possibly say that? You know, it just takes like 2 seconds to find scriptures that say, like, not to lie. It doesn't take long. Don't steal, do not lie, do not deceive one another. Leviticus 19:11, Psalms 119, 163. I hate and detest falsehood. Yeah, that's a lie. Proverbs 12:22. This literally, I did this live. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. Proverbs 13:5. The righteous hate what is false, but the wicked make themselves a stench and bring shame upon themselves. Proverbs 14:5. An honest witness does not deceive, but a false witness pours out lies. Proverbs 17:7. Eloquent lips are unsuited to a godless fool. How much worse, lying lips to a ruler. I could go on and on and on and on. How did he do the deep dive? Ephraim here, Hosea 11:12. Ephraim has surrounded me with lies, Israel with deceit, and Judah is unruly against Yahawashai, even against the faithful and holy one. I mean, how many times does the scriptures have to say not to lie? One more, and then I'll give it back to you, Jason. Okay, Zephaniah 3:13. It says here, read, they will do no wrong. They will tell no lies. A deceitful tongue will not be found in their mouths, and they will eat and lie down, and no one will make them afraid. Okay, we don't lie, Jason and I. And if we get something wrong, we admit it. We come out and tell you that, hey, we made a mistake. Thank you for correcting us. That took me 2 seconds. I literally did that on the fly while Jason was playing the clip. I just now typed in, what does it say in the Bible about lying? And he's that. And this is a pastor, right? Everybody, this is the pastor.
Well, don't forget that fake Pastor Will Doofus brought McToon to his church to specifically minister to his church.
Yeah, McToon stated that he was creating a sermon, that he was going to do a nationwide tour. He was apparently going to go to multiple churches, and it was Joe Hill from Effed Up World who started his channel off with Parable of the Vineyard, Adam Fink, right, a Judaizer. Not the worst of the group, but still a Judaizer nonetheless. He started off there, and then lo and behold, you had McToon versus Joe Hill. Will flew Joe Hill to his church to debate McToon, and then McToon gave over an hour, it's on his channel I believe, over an hour of a talk proving that the earth is a globe flying through infinite space in his church.
Gross. But it is bringing everything to a head, and as predicted, we thought that this would get picked up heavily by the world news. Let's do a little refresh here. And so flat earthers traveled to Antarctica to test their theories, and so this is what is hitting everybody's inboxes, hitting their feeds.
Every feed. It's on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, every single website you could possibly imagine. It's being run. The bots are just pumping it out there. And you know, Jaron, who's already one of the most popular fake flat earthers because of the Netflix documentary that he got his house off of, right? Now he's gone to like superstardom. It was Dan Pratt. Shout out to Dan Pratt, who actually, gave us a shout out and admitted that we were right all along. Dan Pratt's calling him Jaron Rogan because Joe Rogan denied everything. He denied the moon landings. He was a skeptic of it all. And then he got the contract, and then he went on to say that it's absolutely true that we went to the moon. And Jaron, he was never a flat earther. Jaron's story was that his wife told him that it was flat, and then he tried to debunk her, and then he became a flat earther because of Mark Sargent, and he went out and got the Pinnacle Pro and started making videos.
Well, and it was because of the trimmed clips of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. That's
right. It was the government that hid flat earth from Jaron, that hid the globe earth from Jaron by clipping the 24-hour Antarctic footage. That was his main piece of evidence as to why he was a flat earther. But he says he got it wrong, right?
Hey, look, the Jerusalem Post covered it. So this is just the beginning, everybody. This is what happens. It initially goes out to the bigger outlets, and then it gets picked up by bots that there's tons and tons and tons and tons of these itty-bitty little websites out there that it's just bot headlines. And
lots.
Yeah, so what are they saying? Well, let's see here. Jaron's being quoted as saying that I realize that I'll be called a shill for just saying that, and you know what? If you're a shill for being honest, so be it. Mm-hmm. I honestly believed there was no 24-hour sun. I honestly now believe there is. Mm-hmm. But they have here, while the trip did seem to persuade at least one prominent flat earther that his beliefs were wrong, another of the conspiracy theorizing Arctic voyagers was less convinced. I have seen a physical demonstration that could show this working, but I do think that some of the data we're going to have from this trip will help to clarify if that's what's actually happening. Flat earther Austin Whitsitt said. All right, so making reference to the freaking Joe Hanvey model that we're going to be going through here, right?
Yeah, again, the Joe Hanvey's been working with Will. You're going to see Will put out footage and video and timestamps of Joe Hanvey that's gone that completely destroy and deny everything that he's trying to say all in one.
There was a question in the chat about the solstice, sunrise, sunset. Yeah, that's one of the things that we've been doing is showing that from the actual model that it's going to be wrong. So you can go back and check out that section. So we're going to move on to the models now. And this guy, Tommy, showed up just in the nick of time to get his predictions in. He put this video out 7 days ago. And he's got predictions for both the Freemason New World Order pressurized pizza dome the typical one that Jaron, Mark Sargent, Eric Dubay, all these guys have been promoting. And then he does the only prediction that came in from the globe as well. So he's actually using Stellarium, which is the tool that I use. And so he's modeled this up, and he's got the 3,000 miles high. And this is something that you can actually do to scale in a simple piece of software like SketchUp. And so he's done that, and he's shown that he can actually get the angles, right? If you go in here and look at this closer up, you can see that the sun would only be rising from 41.5 degrees north of east and setting 41.5 degrees north of west at Union Glacier, based on the Freemason New World Order pressurized pizza dome. These are real to-scale measurements. Nobody else did that for the pizza dome.
Well, no, except for Alonzo, but he didn't do it like that.
Yeah, and then he...
See, everything is following. And even...
Because of the way he had the model stuck together, he was able to move it around and show what the angles would look like from Punta Arenas. Right, which is... We also showed what the angles look like from Punta Arenas. Because Duffy asked for that. He said that they were going to record the sunrise and sunset. I didn't see any sunrise or sunset footage there. I guess you got to wait for the documentary for that. But so these were the predictions, and this was all falsified. This is all proven to not be true because of the circling sun at Union Glacier. But he didn't stop with just debunking the pressurized pizza dome. He went on to...
There. All I did was just making a visual for what I...
His globe now.
So this is his globe prediction, and you can see what he's done here in that flattened area.
think it will be. And I couldn't find on timeanddate.com the sunrise and sunset. So I don't...
So he's got no data. He modeled this up without any data. That makes zero sense. When you go to put this up at a height and set an angle to it, you got to have some sort of idea of what you're doing. But no, listen to what he did.
don't have the precise angles here because, again, I don't use Stellarium. And there was nothing... Yeah, that's not how I do my models anyway. So my guess just... It will be down at the horizon sometime.
My guess will be down at the horizon sometime.
And it will be a further bit up in the sky sometime. I don't have
A fair bit up in the sky sometime. So this literally here is the best prediction to come from a spaceballer.
the exact angles. I'm sorry for that. Because the flat Earth model is a whole lot easier to do.
Believe me.
Complicated.
Very
It
complicated.
works. Every
It
time.
doesn't work.
No.
So this is my prediction for the globe Earth. I just have the globe here and tilted it by 23.4 degrees.
Tilted it.
I had to raise the
Oh,
sun up there. I know it's
you did.
I had to raise
Raise
the
the sun up there.
Yeah.
not right. It's
No, it's not
circling
right.
around the
It's
Tropic
wrong.
of Capricorn.
Yeah, pause it. So in the globe Earth model, the sun is what, 92 million miles away, Jason? How large is the
93.
sun?
864,000 miles.
So that sun needs to be 864,000 miles. It needs to be 93 million miles away so that it takes up a half a degree in the sky. The sun actually has to be, the Earth has to be rotating. The sun has to be stationary. What you have here is a depiction of a sun traveling locally around an observer that's standing upside down on the top of a ball that's upside down, but he's right side up.
That's what he's modeled. That is what he's modeled.
Clownery.
But at least he tried.
He's the only one. Where's oh my God, Sly Sparkane. Where's Soundly? Where is all of you glurfertards with all of your modeling programs? Where's Red's Rhetoric? Where's Astronomy Live? Where's McToon? Where's Fight the Fat Earth? Where are these guys? Where's Simon Dan? Why aren't they here showing us the model? Saying, look, Jason, you dumbass. Look, Ron, you dumb idiot. Here's the model. Here's how the sun works. Here's how we are spinning around it. Here's the Andromeda galaxy over there that one day we're supposedly going to collide into, right? They can't show any of it because they don't have it. Because what did Will say, Jason?
It's impossible. You can't have a model if it's impossible.
Hey, you can't model it if it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't make this to scale in SketchUp. It just does.
Nobody can.
Doesn't work.
Nobody can. No. Nobody can do it. The scale, I mean, it's literally a joke. Do it sometime, people. Go ahead and fry your computer just for me. Go ahead and make the Earth to scale, and then make the moon to scale, and then make the sun to scale, and show me your model.
Doesn't work that way. But this is how my prediction will appear or look like. Just going around, up and down. That's my prediction. And as all the other globe earthers have said, should this prediction not be correct,
He's gonna quit.
if this is what's happening,
No,
That's not what's happening. He's
No,
lucky. He's lucky
false.
because what he's showing, right, is not the glow. He needs to turn his channel off. He just said, if this isn't the prediction, your model has a local sun above a flat plane on top of a sphere, right? You don't have the
But,
sun, so the sun needs to be around Capricorn. He even said it. I had to rise it up like this and angle it, tilt it like this, right? None of it works. Wait till you try to do just, okay, Will Doofus, you said that your globe model that he's got, Will's model is a globe, a toy globe, right? Go ahead and do like Flat Earth Charles did. Put a sun, put a flashlight, and then put a gnomon on the equator, right? Tilt the globe 23.5 degrees and spin the globe, Will, and show us the rise and set angles of that shadow 9270 on your sphere. Guess what's going to happen, Will? Guess what's going to happen? $1 million. It's not going to work. Your angles are going to be nowhere near 9270.
All right, so this is options number 1 and 2. Option number 1 was the Freemason pressurized pizza dome. Option number 2, this is the heliocentric model. This is the best they got. But there is more. This whole Hanvey thing came out, and we've touched on it, but this got covered by Mark and Pat and DJ Curious, and they even brought him on and
Give him the floor.
So this right here is basically the best presentation of the model that you get from the whole live stream right here. This little section right here, where Mark.
Model thoughts with Joe Handy. Look how confused he looks. And you know how much of a clown? Again, I'm telling everybody, I'm going to keep repeating it. You're being trolled. He's got, what does he have? Like a telescope, a camera. What is he? Like 3 different mounts, 3 different telescopes. I mean,
the little electrostatic ball, because every science guy's got to
the Tesla ball brain.
Go over there and touch it, and watch his hair go.
Selling one for like $12,000.
You got to have that to look scientific.
He's got all his telescopes pointing at a wall
and then making models. Have they gone with you on this journey, or is there some differences of opinion?
My family's always been very supportive. They know that I'm a unique individual, I guess is a good way to put it.
Come on, you think he's going to call himself a retard? His family calls him a unique individual. Come on, everybody, you're being trolled.
So here's Mark is bringing up the footage,
and I think,
because Hanvey doesn't show the model in working or whatever. The only thing you have to go to is these videos.
Overwhelmingly, even if some of them won't admit it, that they know that the Earth is flat now.
Good. It's good you're supported. You're supported here for sure.
Absolutely. And I would imagine how did this change your relationship with the Creator? Did you feel like this strengthened your faith?
Creator.
He is so liberal. You're supported here. Like, what's
makes you
next? Are they
realize
going to
how
start? Hang on a
special we are.
second. Are they going to start telling him to drink his own piss like Pat did to everybody else in the flat Earth community back in 2016?
Ooh.
They can start piss drinking again. Does Pat Steer still drink its own piss? That's my question for Pat.
Good
Patricia,
question.
You still
Good
drink your
question.
own piss. Why aren't you talking about drinking your own piss? Have DJ Murphy on and have him chug his piss like you guys did back in 2016.
We're not some insignificant offspring of animals or monkeys or whatever they want to say. We are the masterpiece of the Creator. Like, yes, all this is beautiful and it's all amazing. We're the masterpiece.
Yeah, like
That to me just gives me hope beyond anything. And we live in a dark time. We live in a dark world. We live in a world where people are they are their own gods, and because of that, it's hard to just truly love people. But he, in the process of breaking me free from the matrix, so-called, he gave me empathy
The Matrix. Get out of here with that talk.
and compassion for others greater than I've ever had before. And it's growing and growing each day. I'm still not perfected in that area by any means, but it's getting better and better each day. And I'm just more compassionate, more loving, and more forgiving, and more understanding, and have greater hope for the future. It's been quite amazing.
Yeah, and same for me, and I've shared a lot about how this has changed my life and just helped me get the hope back that I felt like it was kind of dying out. And knowing that, flat earthers, we're kind of getting a crash course in patience as well as growing a thick skin, because if you do believe the Bible, you know that this is just, there's a lot more other things that could be testing us in the sense of if we don't have a strong faith. And that's why flat earth for me just gave me that piece of the puzzle to look up and be like, Lord, I see you now. I can feel that this place was created with purpose, and that there is a reason why we're going through these things, and sharing that with friends and family, and watching you and put all this hard work into this model. It just helps all of us kind of keep pushing forward. So thank you.
No problem. It's fun for me. So yeah, this is
So all this religious talk on Mark and Pat's and DJ Curious's show here, right? It's not a
Pat was, I call it Pat instead of saying Patricia CIA. Remember when this character came onto the scene, Mark Sargent and what was his name, Jonathan? We're saying that the CIA created this entire character. By the way, they themselves said this. Okay, and I couldn't believe it when Pat started reading scriptures. I was like, get out of here! These people are more religious than the religious now, right?
Yeah. Super Christians.
24-hour sun, and like right there, that's south, east, north, west, south, east.
What?
You can see higher in the north and lower in the south. That's exactly what they saw when they were down there. It was higher at their.
That's exactly what they saw.
Y'all are being punked. This is a punk. This is an absolute mockery of the flat Earth community. You're being punked by this guy. And that's why I'm saying, Jason, they are all NPCs. Anybody that's actually like supporting Joe Hanvey and Will Duffy, you're all NPCs. You're all being punked.
Now, let's pause it right here.
Hilarious.
So people see this and they say, see, you can see two light sources. And they only saw one. Okay, they're way out here in Antarctica where you were seeing that one. This other light source would be the apparent source over Capricorn. But that distance in the scale of things is so great, you're not even going to see that. So, yeah, you see your
apparent source over Capricorn. This is just word salad that has no validation to it whatsoever.
It's just he's just
apparent
spewing
sun
out nonsense.
in Capricorn. I mean, out here at that far out in Antarctica, and then once you get back to Capricorn, you see the other apparent sun. It's you're
the other apparent sun. So there's multiple apparent suns,
and because of the mirror type sky, it is a perfect representation of the physical source, wherever that is and wherever it's coming from. So the apparent sun.
You're all being fucking punked. Wait till Will Duffy starts pulling out the videos of this guy saying that there's guaranteed there's no 24-hour sun. He's going to have all this stuff and he's going to look like a total clown.
Yeah, talking about things that nobody's ever seen or measured. It's not even measurable.
He is always a perfect representation of the
finding the physical source outside the firmament dome, right?
Everybody sees always a perfect representation no matter where you are. And then so he's actually steel manning Alonzo right now, Stephen Alonzo. That's his name.
physical source in the helium superfluid layer. In where I stand right now, that's kind of how I look at it. And
Anybody ever seen a helium superfluid layer? You ever seen one of those? How would that exist? So helium is a superfluid. What temperature does it have to be? Be something like that. And he thinks that there's a helium superfluid layer up there, and that explains everything. Yeah.
everything kind of, everything obeys fluid dynamics. So to say that an ether, a fluid medium background,
ether is a term made up by the fake flat earthers and the globers. They fake fought about that in the early 1900s. The ether
is just nonsense, is ridiculous, because up until Einstein, everybody accepted the ether. Einstein really was put in place, and I don't even think Einstein was a smart guy. I think he was a plagiarist, and he was a plant, and he was put there to help destroy the last group of geocentrists that were kind of hanging on at the time.
That's hold on. Hang on. That is exactly what Will Duffy and Joe Hanvey are doing. If you could go back and just play that again one more time. That was gold. Rose gold.
The ether. Einstein really was put in place, and I don't even think Einstein was a smart guy. I think he was a plagiarist, and he was a plant, and he was put there to help destroy the last group of geocentrists that were kind of hanging on at the time.
Look at Mark. That's exactly what this team you're looking at has been brought out to do. Each and every one of them that you see on the screen right now, that is their job.
Yeah, so this whole 2-hour, 12-minute podcast, this right here is the best evidence that you get for the Joe Hanvey model out of the whole thing.
You don't have him showing the moon? So they asked him if there's a map on there, and he says the best one that we could come up with so far is the map of the moon.
Yeah, for that you got to go to David Weiss, who's got this video here. So David Weiss took one of Hanvey's videos where he doesn't show anything about the model. He took this video and he took some images from this and superimposed them, and they put that out.
So this is you can buy this on Amazon, right? The projector of you can shine it on your ceiling. It's not even constellations.
Yeah,
just a bunch of twinkly lights that spin around, and he zooms in and says it explains everything. So okay, show me sigma octans, show me Polaris, show me how the two are one's rotating the wrong way. So really what he should have had was just the celestial sphere rotating, right? There's only one rotation, right? And that's what they always try to argue, is that it's always rising in the east and setting in the west, right? The celestial sphere. There's not two celestial spheres. It's just there's a different pole.
I love the shooting stars he's got too. Those are the shooting stars are the best. Come on, they're
oh, there. It's just always the two back to back. Bronze mirror. We'll he's all that later.
He's got that droning voice.
All you have to do is go to a Strong's Concordance if you want to debunk the firmament, and search the word rakia, and then search the word raka, and you'll find the usage of the word firmament, which doesn't mean firm at all. It's a Latin word, right? Stereoma. It actually comes from the term rakia, which meant the great vast expanse. And raka, the support for the heavens, that's the earth. The flat earth is what is the solid beaten out spot. That's what has the waters below, which are your oceans. And the waters are above, that's which rains down upon us. It's so simple, everybody. And what they're trying to do is tie the flat earth to the Bible, and then they're trying to debunk it. Joe Hanvey just told you that he's here to destroy anybody who believes in the biblical cosmology. That's his job.
You see, everybody, this isn't real. This is not real.
They put that on the screen with CGI, computer graphic.
And this is what David Weiss superimposed into Hanvey's video. And so this is looking at the southern hemisphere without long exposure. All right. I'll just wait here. Stretches the north over the empty places. They're trying to make this biblical. And look at this. Look at this. This.
That's a huge problem right there.
Anybody see what's wrong with this image right here?
Yeah, so that's Saturn right there, and Saturn should be the same as those other white circles. Right?
Yeah, so Saturn would be one of those circles there doing the rotation if this was real. So he's got Saturn like in this super large, like very
CGI. They put it in the computer.
Yeah, CGI. You don't see Saturn like this.
And Saturn is a shout out to Azazel or Satan, right?
Yeah, so the trail that they made, right, it's not real because this would be part of the trail.
Part of it, yeah. And it actually has the slowest path of the 7 luminaries.
So I mean that's bad. That's really bad.
And they're trying to tie this to the Bible. Well, Joe Hanvey's trying to destroy anybody that believes in the biblical cosmology because they've created a straw man version of it that's all fake, not real, using bad transliteration.
Yeah, so this is Joe Hanvey's YouTube channel here, and the video that went viral based on the final experiment was this one right here. And so he goes on for almost 13 minutes just gushing and saying, how amazing it was that the creator chose him to be able to release this. This is his helium superfluid that he has here, and this is his model. And then you have to watch the video like we just did to be able to see it put into action. There's none of that in this video. And
show anything.
No, it's just he goes on and on
seed by this by the way they're going to spin the results of the 24 hours on the globe side. I'm not saying the flat earth side will do that. I think we're actually going to get evidence for flat earth. I think it's going to turn out in our favor. I can already kind of see how that's happening. The sun seemed to be higher in the sky than the globe predicted when they got down there.
Oh, that's so bad. It's so bad.
Every single thing you hear out of this guy has been scripted and staged to make flat earthers look stupid. He's like 100 times more of a shill than Jaron, if you guys can believe it. Jaron didn't put any of the effort in like this guy's doing.
Yeah, and so what's he got here? He's got his physical model, he calls it. It's a physical model, right? And everybody wants to have physical models now. They don't want to see any more 3D,
CGI.
Yeah, no, they don't want to see that. But he's promoting this.
Just got Dave McKeegan's time-lapse footage of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and it's doing exactly what the Flat Earth model predicted it would do. This is fascinating. This is a big win for Flat Earth. Even
big win. Not for you, Alonzo.
Right now, as it starts climbing up through their arc of vision, look at that. Every prediction made by the Flat Earth model has come true.
The Flat Earth model. Yeah, so that's on Joe Hanvey's that he's promoting.
He's promoting Alonzo.
And tell everybody again, where did this Joe Hanvey come from?
So again, Joe Hanvey was brought onto the YouTube scene with Will Duffy because on the Facebook group, Joe was friends with Wendy debating against Will when he decided to create the final experiment so that he could save his friends.
Yep. He's been brought out by Will Duffy. Will Duffy was using him
Straw man
because
and the Bible.
Because supposedly Hanvey had other models that he thought worked, and none of these have worked whatsoever.
That's Wendy with an I. Yes, thank you, YD.
All right, so we've got Joe's model there, and
do you want to take a break? I know we got a song break still to go, and then we'll, unless you want to wait.
Yeah, let's take a break after this real quick. I just wanted to point out to everybody, this was released today by Dave, and So I mean, this is his damage control, and he's.
This proves the AE map still works, huh? With the flashlight and the what do we call that, magnifying dome?
Yeah, this is the model that just got fully debunked in Antarctica, and he shows this, like this is some sort of proof of anything. Like, where's his measurements to sigma octans, like you were saying, right?
Yeah, and Polaris, show us the two measurements.
And then he shows the coffee cup caustic is what Jaron went to Antarctica to prove isn't happening, right?
Coffee cup caustic was debunked when they were in Punta Arenas, when they saw the sun actually moving back. It set in the west, and then the light moved back towards the east, right?
Yeah, so this is the modeling work that Dave is doing now to save face. And when we come back, we'll get into Stephen Alonzo, who was being heavily promoted in this this whole thing as well. So they're bringing out Hanvey, and they're pushing Stephen Alonzo as well. We'll take this break, and we'll get right back to that.
I used to see angels, now I don't see angels, hiding in my middle name and your name. I don't wanna know your name, you don't wanna know my name. What would that change? I still wanna fly, even though I have seen so many fall from the sky. It's a carry-on game, and I'll never catch fire this far from the flame. Calm down, I can't calm down. I like it up here a little too much now. Hard to imagine another way. Up there, I wanna go there. I think that I could breathe in that thin air. Hard to say. Still wanna fly, even though I have seen so many fall from the sky. It's a carry-on's game, I'll never catch fire this far from
And we are back at the Journal of Geocentric Cosmology. Wow. Have you ever heard of this university?
Yeah, I have heard of it. Yes.
It's a flat Earth university. Run by Stephen Alonzo in San Pedro, Belize.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna run through this Twitter here, and so he is the guy that has this app out now called Firmament Trackers, and you can get your Android version of it. I don't know if he's got
$20, right?
Yeah, Mac version. So he really promotes himself in a strange way, brother. I'm going to point out a few things here that I do find odd. And so this is him promoting his firmament tracker.
Mm-hmm.
Flat Earth model predict for a period of 24 hours? Well, it predicts that the sun will be constantly in our perspective the entire time. For example, when the sun is here, when we're facing south, like looking in the complete opposite direction from it, why do we still see it? And that's because of the dome firmament. I don't have it drawn right here because it will mess up with what we're looking at, but the sun is reflecting off the dome firmament, and it's really, really cool how it actually works.
Dome firmament. So this is the exact, going back to what they've always done, the thing that they just debunked, the dome firmament. He's got it circling out there, right? So you can join his university. He's got a movie he's releasing. He had all this stuff ready to go. January 4th, he's releasing Glyphs on Ice, the movie. Yeah, check it out.
He's been following along and taking all of our language, all of our talking points, and then he just makes it look bad. That's what a disinformation agent does, right? We've got videos on Jason's channel if you want to look, starring Asshole Jake and his buddy Matt Powerland. So what they do is they take parts of what you say, and then they then mix that in with completely debunkable disinformation.
So he had all the links where you could tune in to these different things.
There's Jerry.
That's Jerry.
I was wrong. Sometimes in life, you're wrong. Right? We told you were wrong in 2016. Here we go. Glyphs on Ice. He's got the map that literally tells you there's no sunlight beyond the 80th degree latitude. And you know what he says? Oh, they didn't go to the 80th. They were at 79.2 or whatever. So
that's what he said.
Come on, Steven.
He did.
If Steven would like to join us at any time, he is more than welcome. We gotta reach out to Steven. We already did invite him on, right? We already talked back and forth with this guy. He actually had a working, repeating, two pole. What was it? He had the Hotine projection, right?
Well, he knows about stereographic maps, which are coordinate systems. So he knows about it. We'll be showing that now. This right here. Do you want to become a certified master of flat Earth theory? The Flat Earth University will be offering official transcripts to prove your worth. Enroll for free and get notified when we launch the program. So he's got this diploma. He's got a diploma.
He in his own course. Something's not right with this guy. What's going on?
Stephen Alonzo at the Journal of Geocentric Cosmology, Sheridan, Wyoming.
Wyoming. I thought he lived in Belize.
I don't know if he should put this
he's got a
student ID number out in public, right?
What's going on here? S. Alonzo at University.
But here's his grades.
What? He got grades?
Yeah.
Wait a second. If he created the test, that's like Yahawashai making a test and then, giving himself like a failing. No, he passed. He got A's here.
Well, some grades were a little low. For his first year courses, Introduction to Flat Earth, he got a 97.
Oh, he tracking the first one.
Tracking the firmament, he got a 77. So he's got a tracking app, but he didn't score all that well on his own test.
Because it's unrealizable.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised he didn't give himself 77.7. Right? What, you missed the ball on that one there, Steve.
Introduction to plasma moon theory, he got an 89.
Oh, he aced the moon plasma.
Celestial navigation on flat Earth, he got an 83. Mathematics of the plasma moon, he got a 91.
91. He really likes this plasma moon mathematics stuff. There's his signature. It looks like Donald Trump's, right?
President of the flat Earth.
Oh, come on, Steven. Listen, like, you could have just made a mock one. I guess that's what this is. This is just a mock one that he's put his name on. Come on.
All the stuff he's selling.
He's got a lot of stuff for sale, a lot of courses. That's, I don't know, is that some cracked out analemma he's got going on there, huh?
Tracing the path of the planets on the firmament.
So just so everybody knows, the problem with this map is that the lines of longitude actually converge to a single point on the southern side of it. So for him to actually make this realizable, he needs to have it turn into a coin with the southern section underneath the bottom side of the coin so that he can have a complete celestial sphere circle around it.
Now, this is something that I'm interested in right here, and I'll be explaining that coming up. So he's got a really great tool here. He just really effed up when he put it on a single pole. What else do we got here? I mean, there's really some cool features to it. So there's a book. You can get a science textbook. I guess this is what you get in class. If you go see Dr. Steven Alonzo.
Apparently his mom's in the chat. Says, hey, Steven's mom here. Please buy the course. It is really good. Hey, listen, let Steve know that we want him to come on and join us live and we can go through his course. You know, I guarantee you that Jason and I could probably get 100 out of 100 on every test that Steven has.
Yeah, so I guess we'll be getting to that soon. So the front-end web development with flat Earth models. So we are interested in learning how to do this. We're just going to put it on a different projection than the AE. The AE's only got one pole, and we can't get behind that. So celestial navigation and 3-star fixed are only possible on a flat Earth. So these are great points. This is how. So this grid line of this half circle that's rotating on the plane right here is giving you every possible azimuth and altitude you could possibly need to plot anything in your circle of sight. And then so the way you actually do navigate is by the triangulation of 3 different celestial objects. So that's the one part that the whole Nathan Oakley crew get correct is how to plot these coordinates with azimuth and altitude off of a plane. They get that one part correct. So let's see a little of this model in action. You see this? So this right here is the type of view that we get in a program like Solarium, where you're inside at the center of this circle. So this is giving you the outside 3D perspective. Not possible. This can only be done in software. You can't get this type of view in reality because you have to be on the inside, seeing all this take place around you in your circle of sight. All right, that's good. The problem is when you do something like this. Mm-hmm. This is when it all goes to shit, because as you actually move the model, and we'll go to Walter Bisland's, where we actually have the tool where we can do it, you're going to see that the way all these angles are pointing, it's retarded and ridiculous.
Sadly, it's unattainable. It's unrealizable. It's not something it's at all measurable in reality. It's sad that this is the path that Stephen wanted to go. It was his choice, right? He wanted to be popular. He wanted to get his name shouted out from Antarctica by Will Duffy. He wanted Mark Sargent to give him a shout out. And he did. He went with the disinformation. He's actually steelmanning David Weiss's app. That's David Weiss says, yeah, that's my app, he says, right?
Yeah, so this right here, he's stealing our model and tossing it on a single pole, which is bad.
Yes.
So this is how we explain the counterclockwise rotation in the north and the clockwise rotation in the south. And yeah, we've been showing this for years and years and years, but you don't do that over a single pole projection.
It can't work because everywhere on the outside rim of the AE map model is south, right? It actually has to be a point, one single point, right? There's no everywhere. And the sun has to literally rise from the earth and set into the earth. Like, do people really understand that what we do here is actually stand upon the actual word of the Creator from the Bible? It states like this. It says, the sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. We continue time and time again to tell you, how do you think we came about figuring out that we live in a virtual reality? Right? Observations of clouds behind the sun and the moon, right? Things being super local to us, right? The fact that the sun rises into the ground, you can film it with trees behind it and in front of it, as well as, right, the day and night being created before the sun and the moon and the luminaries, right? How could the earth be hung upon nothing? Well, it's because you create a virtual reality and then you turn what's called ambient light on, which we're calling daylight, right? All of these things that we have taught and that we teach are actually founded upon biblical scriptures. And that's why we're confident. That's why we're out here. We don't, if it was a sphere and the Bible said that I flungeth the earth on the 8th day and it spins through the infinite universe, we would teach that. We would be right there. We would find the evidence for it, but it's not.
Yeah, so this right here is a tool that you're going to see a gun. This is the azimuthal anywhere. And you're going to find out that the azimuthal isn't as bad as you may have thought in the past.
Well, because you can turn it into two poles.
Mm-hmm. You sure can. That doesn't work, but we got back to...
What is this?
This is the very beginning. This is his first post. Yeah.
That must be... what happens is when you get to the mega super advanced section of Stephen's courses. Now, I'm guessing if Stephen can tell me in the comment section below, are you teaching the actual true working reality when you get to the advanced section? This was the first map, the Hotine, right? This is a stereographic map. As you can see, it has Antarctica in its entirety. So what we did was we had to cut this up, move half of Antarctica to the west, half of Antarctica to the east, so that we could have the land masses orientated in a much more pleasing way to the eye, right? And we've learned that, so in the way that you present the stereographic map, right, depending where you put the prime meridian is what matters. So if you want to keep something accurate, it depends on what is centered on your actual projection.
Nailed it. Yeah, so his very first post here, the stereographic flat earth model addresses common criticisms and simplifies the overall theory. He acknowledges that, and then he goes and puts the azimuth and altitude, this personal circle of sight, over a single pole after he said the stereographic flat earth model addresses common criticisms.
If Stephen's tuning in, or if anyone knows Stephen, if you're listening to him, we are offering to pay. We will pay Stephen to actually make the correct working map and model. Jason, I know you'll get into a little bit more detailed as to what you would like, what you would like to see. So it actually is something that works. I don't know if you want to touch on that. I just want to say, if Stephen's out here for hire, we want a graphic designer. If somebody, Jason and I are carpenters. We remodel things. We build decks, fences, we weld, we do a little electrician. We do everything. We don't build 3-dimensional models as much. Now, Jason, you do, I do a little bit. You do more with like motion graphics, like with, but you're not into the programming. You don't know Java. You don't know Babylon. So if you're tuning in right now, Steven, or anybody like Steven, if you're able to take not Walter Bislin, but the sky mechanics, the data, and you're able to put it. Now, Jason, if you want to tell people what you're looking for, I know you like the, we call it the onion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Moleweed. We're looking for people that we're willing to pay. We're willing. We'll go to work. We'll make some money. We'll pay you to actually give us the correct working model with the sky over it. That's what we want. I don't know if anyone's tuning in here that has the ability to do that.
Now, if you check this out, he's pumping him.
So this allows multiple observers. This is something that's never been done before.
He's smoking the devil's lettuce. It's not an accurate model. It's wrong.
It becomes impossible to take what I did and wrap that around a ball. This is how we know that what we have an accurate model. Let's do something right now.
Got his Belize towel, his Flat Earth University cap.
And let's see if we can move around.
He's a good programmer. I give him that. He's getting into it right here.
Now you can put multiple people down. So what we need is we need to be able to use this right here. And this is the same thing that Walter Bislin has. And we need to be able to use it on a stereographic projection. So
correct.
So there's two options that a person has to do this. And that is, that's not the one I want. This is what I want. And so there's two ways you can do it. Two-dimensionally, you can take your lengths of your lines of latitude and you can plot them out where they're straight lines on a plane. Right, so that's what we've done right here. At the equator, it's 60 degrees per nautical mile. Ends up being 21,600 nautical miles wide at the equator, but at your different latitudes going to the north and to the south, the amount of miles per nautical per degree, the amount of nautical miles per degree end up getting shorter as you go towards the poles. So the math's all done here. You can check it out, but these are the lengths of the latitudes projected as straight lines on a plane. So absolutely nobody could have a problem if we took the land masses, put it on here. It looks very similar to a moleweed. We could use that and then put that circle of sight thing that comes from the Walter Bislin over a 2D projection that's to scale like this. Nobody can complain about it. Well,
I can a little bit.
A little bit.
I already explained to you we need to actually have it linked to the program. Do you have the program where you're able to adjust it?
Yeah, we'll get to that when we start showing our model.
That's the correct one. I want to talk about that one.
Yeah.
But I like the static. I like the static version here. And Jason, just before you move on, I just want people to understand this coordinate system. You're going to hear people going around saying, "Oh, this is globe math." Listen, all it was two people or two teams that started on the prime meridian in the center, and they each went left and right. And when they got 12 hours, when they got to the sides where it says 180, where the sun was then 12 hours off the original start point, that was the end of the coordinate system. Then they started going north and south, and they did the same thing until they reached the final goal of mapping out what the coordinates were. And they did all this over a flat plane. No one has ever flown into outer space and measured the coordinate systems of a sphere. None of that's real. It's not realizable, okay? And what ends up happening is if you want to turn this into a three-dimensional object, it turns into an American football.
That's the thing. There's only two options available. There's no third option. This isn't a false dichotomy. If you have a third way of projecting this, everybody, let us hear about it, because two-dimensionally it looks like this, and three-dimensionally when you take the lengths of the latitudes and you turn them into circumferences, this is the way it projects three-dimensionally. So if you believe you're on a ball, it's an American football. Right? There's no arguing, denying this. Q and Fee tried. We're going to cover that towards the end of this. It's hilarious. But I just want to point out to everybody that because of this, where is it? I want images. The NASA fans that are football fans are going nuts, right? Finding out Earth's coordinate system projected to scale in 3D is an American football. These guys are like, hell yeah. Yeah, we're on a football, man.
Flying through outer space, spinning, right? Like a football, perfect spiral.
That's what they think.
That's what they think.
So yeah, this right here, I would get behind somebody that would actually take this data and put it onto a stereographic coordinate system, because we would promote it and share it. I mean, if somebody wanted to go out and as long as there was no tracking shit in it, we would support it and use it, because this would be a great way to show the luminaries rotating around an observer on a plane, as long as it wasn't a stupid single pole. That's retarded, because you take all these rotating stars up above here and you throw all that crap away, because the only thing that you see is what's rotating in your circle of sight. Right?
Are you going to go to your map, or are you going to go to Q next?
I've got more tabs. This is Joseph Hanvey promoting the Alfonso, and then the Alfonso's promoting the Joseph Hanvey. Those guys are very tied together. So here's Daz the cameraman, who's come out and has got his own modeling to show how the Walter Bislin on an AE map is absolutely ludicrous. So
what it is, as I say, is what we see in the real world.
He's shown it like this. So this is what Alfonso is saying, that you go to the edge of this pressurized pizza dome disc, and then this is the path of the sun. It has to go outside of the dome like this, right?
And the other problem is you can keep heading south.
Map.
I don't think we need to hear him. You can keep going south and cross Antarctica. You can circumnavigate Antarctica. They've got races there every year. Zworst, if you check out his Telegram, if you go over to Reality Check Chat, you're going to see lots of posts from a character. His name is Zworst. And he's got it detailed, really, really, really detailed, that they have this race. So how does that work, Alonzo? If you can explain that, you can circumnavigate Antarctica, right? It doesn't work in your unrealizable reality.
So here you get to see it from a little different angle, and then he's going to change the day of the year, and that's going to affect the path of the sun quite a bit as it lowers it down. Let's watch him make this adjustment.
We've been saying it for over 8 years that they created this map and model so that they could strawman it. So all the fake flat earthers, Daz the cameraman was one of the first, right? With Red's Rhetoric and who was the other guy? There was a couple other guys very long time ago, Soundly and so, but they created this map, and then they created this model. Daz created this model like almost right away to show people this observation here, right? That it doesn't work.
Does not work. But then he shows this, and so this is fantastic, because here comes the Walter Bislin data that shows that the sun everywhere between 66.5 degrees north latitude and 66.5 degrees south latitude, you're going to have the sun rising and setting into Earth. That is into Earth.
Do you want me to read that scripture? Jason's saying it rises and sets into Earth. It says the sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. Okay? The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning upon its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. Listen, this is also, not only is it telling you that the sun rises and sets, which is impossible on
on an AE fake flat Earth map. It's also impossible on a globe Earth map. This is why we've been trying to yell at people for years that the Bible is true and that the sun actually rises and sets from the ground and goes underneath it back to its rising point again. Right? And we have scriptures to back it up. That's just one. There's more.
And then you got Slice Per K. He's trying to get in on the modeling. He's showing the pole tilted right here, and then he's got a tilt. Not to scale.
Not to scale, huh?
Never been a scaled model ever. And so his stupid little models like this is even enough to make the prediction that the sun would rise 90 degrees east and set 270 degrees west at the summer and winter solstice. All right, and so his model points out the same thing that we've been pointing out. These are huge Spaceballs debunks, and then he shows it over pressurized pizza dome, which is the straw man. We've already debunked this, and we know how this works as far as the circling out here at 80 degrees south and 90 degrees south. Our models are the ones that predicts it. We'll be getting to that. So this right here, I find this sort of crazy.
QN dummy button still? Oh, you do. Hit it. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back to Absolute again. QN dummy making an appearance. What do we have here, Jay?
Yeah, so this is interesting. This is on a backup channel that I never even knew that he had. So we put out the video. Somebody came along and said, "Oh, QNV debunked your projection of the coordinate system," and so this is a channel I didn't know about. It's only got 108 views with a channel that's got 381 subs. I didn't even know that he had this. So he's hiding his videos now against us. And the only thing he says is, of course, they're going to strawman me again.
So what he's doing there is trying to defend the fact that he's about to deceive people. This is just a microcosm of what QNFEE does with all of his supposed debunks. He's just a gang stalker who does nothing but disinform his viewers. And people can barely even understand what he's saying anyways. But here we'll be able to completely show you exactly what he's doing. Take it away. Show what QN Dummy did here.
Well, and I'm going to say right now that spiritual warfare speaking, this is the death of Q.
But he's done. He's done.
Yeah, he's done. But this is what happened. And this is the equator down here. We map out the sphere, but this is what happened. And this is the equator down here. And then this is 10 degrees, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then 90 being the point up here. So if you project this to scale, it actually turns into a cone. No, we even made an update since then where it's not truly a cone, it's an American football, and we've covered the reasons why, and I'll show it again. Here's the 3D projection of the coordinate system. All right, this is the equator. This is
the red space is the equator.
The red space is the equator. 10 degrees north. Each one of these is based off of its circumference. All right, and this was done to scale, and then all the latitudes are spaced evenly, 600 nautical miles, 600 nautical miles. Each one of these are spaced to scale, and so when you lay this all out here, it does not project to a sphere.
Awake souls, you're doing it wrong. How do you think they got away?
Hang on.
With the
Who is this guy? Who is this guy to come in here and tell you that you're doing it wrong? He didn't do it. Who does he think he is? And not only that, his trigonometry is trick-a-dummy. Dummy.
Not by using this, of course. Cone-shaped coordinate system. No. You're doing it wrong.
No. We're doing it right.
You made all these parts the same distance.
Yeah.
You followed the coordinate system.
Let's say 1665 a kilometer. 15 degrees each. But that is wrong, of course.
No.
Show us, Q.
On a sphere, these lines would decrease.
On a sphere, they would decrease.
They should decrease the coordinate system if we lived on a sphere, or if their modeling was correct.
Towards the North Pole. Do you understand that?
Yeah, we understand more than you.
I
What's he
have
got
here
here?
the globe radius
Hmm.
of 6,378 kilometer. And here the 15 latitude north. 6,160 kilometer. And so on and so on. This vertical line represents the distance between the latitudes. Decrease in size, not staying the same size.
No.
See that?
So what I'm demanding is that QN dummy, okay, our viewers are watching. They're going to want to see the evidence. Jason and I are watching. We specifically want to see the evidence. But I want you to show your viewers, right, the coordinate system and how they supposedly decrease. Where is the calculator, QN dummy? Show us the calculator. Jason's going to show you. And then we want you to replicate it. We don't want you to continue to lie and to disinform people and to gang stalk and gatekeep and steal. This guy says he's not a flat earther, nor is he a ball earther. All he does is attack people like Jason and I, right? Well, getting shout outs from all the major glurfers, right? He gets Simon Den or Mick Toon or all these guys fight the flat earth. They all shout out QN Fee. He gets shout out by like Jeranism and all these other channels. Like, but they never say our names, but we demand that if you're going to make an assertion, if you're trying to school Jason, we would like to see where are the actual calculations. Show us the coordinate system. Yeah. Q, show us how you measured them decreasing north and south of the equator towards the poles.
Well, he's not going to need to because we're going to go through it all.
And if he can't, Jason, he needs to take his channel down because he's a lying deceiver, a shill out here just trying to throw shit at a screen. You know, the hurling the elephant fallacy. It does, and you can't even understand him. And now he's just straight lying. Listen, you guys want to know why he's doing this? What he did was he created the sphere, created the radius, then he added the different latitudes in, and he made them to the size that it would need to be so that he could actually steel man the globe. This guy is trying and has been defending the globe Earth the entire time. And this is the final nail in the coffin. Yeah. The final nail in the coffin. Yeah, Q. This is proof that he's nothing but a globe-tard, LARPing as a fake. He doesn't even call himself a flat earther anymore. He doesn't do anything but actually try to steel man to help. He's trying to help you. He's trying to prove the Earth is a globe here.
Yeah, so look at his model here. He has the lines of longitude getting shorter as you go towards the poles because that is what the ball requires.
And what you did is made all these lines, which represent the latitudes, the same size.
Yeah.
You cannot do that.
Yeah, you have to do that, idiot.
Show us where your math is coming from, Q-tard.
Yeah, so he goes on to, he puts this disc in at 45 degrees, which was sort of a pain in the ass for me because I went every 10 degrees in my model, so I had to add another one at 45. And I'm going to show everybody here tonight how that ends up looking when you add it. But look at this, he comes along in the
6 kilometers.
All right. Remember this tool, people. We'll use the same tool that he's using.
45th north. 45th
He's only going to
north.
show one spot. He's only showing one
To the
spot. It's not even measuring.
Well, no, this is giving him a calculation. So he's at 45 degrees north, and he went to 180 degrees, and he must not have watched the video that we made where I pointed out that you can't go antipodal with the coordinate system because it spits out errors. So he's he's going to 180. So he's getting the false number that will give you the cone projection, right?
Yeah, not the correct width. Right?
Yeah,
you have to go by 10 degrees.
Yeah, well, each individual degree.
1 degree at a time, sorry. Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry.
80 degree. This tool cannot create a full circle.
Yeah, it can't go antipodal either, idiot.
So we have to multiply this by 2. That would be like 28,300 something kilometer.
Wow, he can do math. Wow.
Ooh.
Excellent work, Q dummy.
28,336.
Good job. You want a toy? You want a
I
treat?
believe you did everything wrong.
Nope. No. You're trying to support the globe. So this right here, he did put in the correct size circumference circle at 45 degrees north. The problem he has with his model is that he's making the lines of longitude get shorter as you go up towards the poles, right? That is the problem. And so since he used this tool right here, I'm going to show you all.
Well, you're not going to play the end of it? Just go to the end before you go off?
Okay.
Just show his final predictions right there. Move it ahead.
You can see these lines.
Right. Not Lamore.
Dummy.
You're the
Map out the
dummy.
sphere,
You
bud.
are the absolute dummy. Here we go. This is a section right here. How he- Here we go. So hit play. I'll show you how he's
And this is the equator down here.
how he's
And then
trying to
this is 10
support
degrees, 20,
the
30,
globe
40,
Earth.
50, 60, 70, 80, and then 90.
So he created a sphere here. Pause it. He created a sphere here. Then he put the lines of longitude in like that. Created those different lines and made them so that they would fit inside of his sphere. And then he's got no numbers, no math, and he just says this is the correct model because he's trying to fool his viewers into thinking they live on a globe.
That is what he's doing. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show
How you
everybody.
measure the north and south across the equator. So we're going to actually measure the lines of latitude. Again, I like to explain things. You can remember that the latitudes are like the rungs in a ladder. When you hear latitude, they're the rungs in a ladder. So they go up and they go down in the coordinate system. Okay. And here Jason is going to actually measure now. So Q said that they get smaller, right? Until you get to the poles. Well, let's see. I predict that he's jackassery, clownery backwards, and they actually get a slight bit larger, but a little smaller.
That's the thing. So I just want to show everybody here using the tool that he's using from the equator to 10 degrees is 597.114 nautical miles with this tool. Now, I wasn't using that tool when I created it. I used the one that's from the National Hurricane Center, NOAA. This is what they have out there. And I just want to show the difference, that the difference here, the numbers are rounded off a hair. So it just gives an even 600. And this calculator will give you an even 600 every step of the way. And this is the one that I was going by when I was building the models. Right, so this is 600 every single step of the way. But the one that he likes, all right, let's go to 20. This is between.
I hope Q and Dummy's paying attention. I hope he's got a screen record going. Come on, Q, we're calling you over. Okay, we want you to show your audience with this calculator how the lines of latitude get smaller headed towards the poles. Continue, please.
Yeah, we're between 10 and 20 right now. So now we're going to go 20 to 30. Notice we're
that number right there, 597.4 nautical miles. Okay.
Oh.
That's the number that's supposed to get smaller. Oh, it got bigger, 598.141 nautical miles. What's going on here, Q? What's going on here? No. It's supposed to get smaller, Jason.
now 30 to 40 degrees.
Idiot.
Five.
Globe shell. It's 599.044. It's getting larger, Q. What is going on? Oh my! I guess the modeling, the The mathematics must be wrong, Jason. Q's going to have to debunk this compass.
Now we're a little bit over 600 here. Now we're going 50 to 60.
Look at this, everybody. It's getting 601. 601.098 now. Oh, yeah, Q. How come the lines of latitude aren't getting smaller as we travel towards the poles, Q-tard? Huh? Because you're a lying shill. Every single thing that he's ever done, every single time. You know, this guy goes back 8 years ago, 7 years ago, to when Jason and I were first learning how to figure stuff out, and he says we're still promoting those types of things. There is not a larger gang-stalking lying shill out here than this guy right here.
So the tool that he uses not only shows that it doesn't get shorter, right? It gets longer.
Longer. And he's too stupid to even do these calculations? No, I tell you, he's not too stupid. He literally is hiding this from you and his viewers, and he's doing it for clout so that he can seem cool because, you know, making fun of Jason and Ron, the two Christian carpenters that have done everything they possibly can, spent all their money, dedicated their entire lives for the truth and new music and graphics. Now, let's go mock and make fun of them, make them eat out of stoma bags. Right? Let's make them eat shit on screen. Let's make them out to be, you know, this guy, everything that this guy does, you know, he's just projecting. He's an absolute projector.
All right. So this is an open version of the model that I have that that wasn't closed up. And this is the one I added 45 to. But you can see here that I had each 10-degree latitude all equally spaced. So we're at the equator 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. And now all of a sudden we've got an extra layer up here. I added 45. So going from the coordinate system, I did the calculation for having the correct radius to give the correct circumference to equal the length at 45 degrees north. And you can see here that it follows the contour of the football exactly, except when you get to 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 up here, right? Like he was saying, it's a ball. No, it's not a ball. It's a football. Right?
If you think you live on a three-dimensional coordinate system that we have, that works, that planes use to navigate.
So that's 45 degrees north up there. So equator down, we're going 10, 20, 30, 40. And then you see there's an extra slice in there, and all of this actually snapped together exactly. When I took this line and bisected it and left myself a guide point there, and then I also went from the coordinate system and pulled from the equator down to 45 degrees south and north, it hit my guide points exactly. All right, so that right there,
yeah,
is the way it really plots out, and it's got the 45 degree added that Q and Fee added to his.
Now we'll see. Let's see how he defends this to his audience. Q, are you going to continue to try to prove that you live on a sphere, or are you going to actually tell the truth?
And if you do this two-dimensionally, so this right here becomes 45 degrees north here because I laid this out in 10-degree spacing, 45 degrees south, and then yeah, you do end up with the exact.
Oh, would you look at that now? Oh, look at this. The math works perfectly. Oh, we must live on an onion then, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so,
so
I thought that was so insane.
Couldn't believe it.
That he was trying to say that these lines of longitude get shorter near the poles.
He just doesn't know how to use the calculator, right?
Well, he's just straight defending the sphere.
The globe Earth, yeah. That's all he's doing.
That's all he's doing.
And anyone that wants to follow him, go ahead. Have at it. We're not intimidated. We're not scared. We're not afraid to lose. If anyone's tuning in here, if you think QN Dummy has the truth, go follow him and enjoy it. Go ahead. If that's the kind of stuff you're into. We're into the truth here and an actual research.
So we got one more model that made a very late entry.
The newcomer, Shane St. Pierre, who seems to be, out of all of these guys, actually, he does actually know something.
He does. He made a 303 video to say this with his new flat Earth model. Everybody, you see this? It's the new flat Earth model, December 19th. And let's hear what Shane's got to say.
Model for flat Earth and a different model of how things would work, and they say, you know, the AE model is trash and this is the new model. Okay, first of all, there is no AE model. There is just a coordinate system that is projected into all various different projections with different distortions based on the same spherical coordinate set based on the celestial sphere. So
no, they're not based on a spherical coordination set. No. That's an absolute lie.
They're based off of plain Earth observations to the luminaries.
That's right.
That's all that's being projected. If you want to say the AE model doesn't work, then the globe doesn't work either. It's all the same data. So let's stop mixing up things and let's be very clear. This right here is actually not a new model at all. It is the same model again. It is an azimuthal equidistant projection. All right, and I'm going to prove that to you. So people look at this and they go, oh, it's very different than what we know. No, that's incorrect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import equirectangular map into my map projector. So let's look at that. So here's this. I'm going to import this. There we go. There it is. It comes in an orthographic globe, and I can move my locations up here, and I can see different spots on the globe. And I can change my orientation over here, and I can, you know, move it around. This is an
So this right here is what we've been telling everybody. This is coin Earth. This is where you put from the equator to the North Pole like this, and then you flip it over, and it goes equator to the South Pole on the other side of the coin.
The graphic projection, okay? If we change it to an azimuthal equidistant projection, what we see is this, and this is how it starts, okay? This is an azimuthal equidistant North Pole.
So this is another piece of software that all we would need to do is plug in a decent coordinate system. Let's see.
Okay. If we change it to an
look at all these options he's got here. We just need to put the correct one there, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to, like I said, call this guy out. Let's talk. He seems to understand that it's multiple ways to project it, right?
Is this, and this is how it starts.
You're going to get to our map next.
This is an azimuthal equidistant North Pole focused projection, meaning it makes this projection its center point in the North Pole, and then it does the azimuthal equidistant projection for directions from there. So it's preserving the directions of the point of reference, and at this point, it's the center. It's the North Pole. However, if we were to move this to different areas, we can actually see that it would skew and scale. See, if we do this, move it a little bit over here, move it a little bit over here, and now we get what concavers call a different projection, right? They say this is what concave Earth looks like, and that couldn't be further from the truth. If you're not paying attention, this is still an azimuthal equidistant projection. You see my graticule over here, and I'm focused on 12 degrees east and 1 north. So that just means I've changed it to match the model exactly, right? So if we put that picture back up that we saw before, let's see, let's move it over here.
2 poles.
And now we're seeing two different.
Yeah, you gotta have the second pole.
Things.
Got those.
All right, so here we go. It's the same projection with a different center point. All we've done is adjust it to center on 12 east and slide it down to 5 north. Okay, and that's all that we've done. You see that? If people don't like the AE model, and you shouldn't use this tweaked projection of an azimuthal equidistant projection either. And again, there is no AE flat Earth model. There is just the flat Earth geocentric model, and then there's the different map projections tied to the celestial coordinate system that everyone is decreed to use since 1714.
I'd like to know what his model is, right? That's what we got to talk to him about. I want to hear what he believes the flat Earth model is. And does it have an ice wall and a dome?
Yeah, so what he is talking about is this tool right here. All right, so this is azimuthal map anywhere, and with this you can
area, not equidistant though. He was incorrect with that.
Well, it's such an equal area right now. This is equal distance, so it changes the spacing of the yeah, equidistant is better. Let's use equidistant here. And so this right here, if you're centered to the north, is like he was saying, this is the single pole pressurized pizza dome, or you could center it to Antarctica, and then you would have water all the way around the outside edge like this. Or you could center it anywhere in here, and he was saying, well, concave earthers like this. Yeah, there's a reason why, because what they've done is they've taken the distortion and they've tucked it inward, right? The projection that we use actually projects this distortion outward. And but there's nothing wrong with using this. In fact, so if we're here in Texas, let's because it's centered to it right here, if we were to zoom in, let's zoom in on this, you can actually see that the grid layout is correct here. This is the right, it's the right length of the latitudes and longitudes right here where it's centered to. And then of course, as you get away from where you're centered,
the axis,
it's heavily distorted. But if you're taking a flight from Texas to South Africa, where it's centered right here is actually being projected correctly the entire way. All right.
This is the type of projection I want to overlay the sky system on top of, where you can move it all around. But it might still need to be static.
Might need to be static. We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
But so this isn't bad. All right. This is drawing the azimuth, altitude, coordinates to scale here, right where the mark is. Everything else is wrong. Now, the one that we prefer using now is this one, and we like the moleweed now. Actually, it's
click on the map.
I wanted to start off sort of default like this. All right, so we like this because this looks like a to scale projection of the coordinate system, where we have all 360 degrees of longitude presented in front of us on a flat plane. All right, so this gets the whole face of Earth, and then we also have the 180 degrees of latitude here. So this is the whole coordinate system projected to scale, but then you'll see that you still have distortion, right? The only place on this map that's truly accurate is where it's centered to, and that's this spot right here. But if we do our flight from Texas, as we were doing with the azimuthal anywhere, let's go ahead and zoom in here so we're not distracted by the edges so much. And as we take that same flight, we're going to see the coordinate system redrawing around our location correctly. But right now our distortion is a convex looking distortion. Right? It looks like it's bulged out. And then when we go beyond the equator, we see all of our lines of latitude getting shorter as we go to the south. And so this is drawing the coordinate system correctly around us with each one of those clicks. Right? Each time I clicked it, it was centering to that location. And this is drawing it correctly here in South Africa, but then obviously not out at the other edges. So this is not a model. This is a projection of the coordinate system. We also have a model. And that model is any model that shows the sun rising from a plane and setting into a plane. So when I put this into motion here, let's let it run through the whole of...
I point out for all the globe glurf shills that are tuning in here, especially you, Will, this is in no way globe Earth data. These are observations made with a theodolite measuring off of a flat and fixed plane, with the motion of the sun being tracked, and it's rising from underneath the Earth and setting going into Earth locally around the observer. This in no way can be used as what they're calling globe Earth modeling. It's not.
Yeah.
You need a globe if it's a globe Earth model.
No, it's a fixed and stationary plane. When I hit stop here, there's absolutely no movement of any numbers whatsoever. And when I hit play, all these numbers are based off of what the sun is doing right here. So this is Punta Arenas. Let's go back a few days here. When did they get down there? I'll just start it here at the 11th. And so from Punta Arenas, these are the rise and set angles. Get your orientation, everybody. North is up here, and you can see that the sun is rising from severe southeast, going up and around the observer's head and setting to the severe southwest. This is literally the first type of stuff that we're talking to guys like Jeranism about. We're talking about Ushuaia, which is right next to Punta Arenas.
Can I say it again? Right? Ecclesiastes. It says right here, right? I'll say it over and over and over again. Ecclesiastes 1:5-9. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. Listen, let me break this down for you. It's a little bonus time here. We're at the end, right, Jay?
Well, getting close.
What?
I got a little bit more to go.
So how could all the streams flow into the sea, everybody? You want me to break this down for you? If the sea is a fixed, flat, level plane of Earth, the sea, all the land masses or the island, the portions of it that have dirt on it, rise above the sea. And guess what that means? That all water will naturally, due to the properties and mechanics of the fluid, will flow back to the sea. Yet it is never full because we live in a virtual reality, right? The scriptures literally, that scripture literally tells you that you live on a flat earth, right? And it tells you that the sun rises from below the earth and sets into the earth again and goes back to its beginning place and it rises yet again, right? If you're not paying attention, everybody, I hope you are now.
Yeah, so there's something I got to point out about this model right here is it's a shadow model, which allows you to load your own OBJs, STLs, or PLYs. These are 3D models. Mm-hmm. So it starts off with this little default city down here, but the reason why this software exists is so that people can load their models to actually study
their home.
The light patterns as far as how the light is going to work. So you can see here the shadows are being cast from the light source, the red dot. And so every one of these shadow predictions is based off on the sun doing this, literally having the sun rise and set from a plane within a person's circle of sight. This is usable. You can use this for your 3D modeling, but when you take this data and try to put it onto a globe, no, you cannot use this to figure anything out as far as like, how's the light going to come in through this window? Is it going to illuminate this spot? If you got, your main picture window that you want to have the light hit it a certain way, you got to use a tool like this to figure it out. You go to your coordinate, you pick your time of the year, time of day, and check it out. This is real and usable data on a plane that's not moving.
And it matches the scriptures as well. If we zoom in quickly before you leave, I just want to show people one more time because everyone always says, oh, the book of Enoch, Ron, talking about portals. Okay, no, right? Enoch is literally count. Jason, can you count the sections on the model in front of everybody? Right,
I'm going to just go to the equinox.
Enoch was describing your circle of sight, and he called portal or gates the section of the azimuth, which is the compass heading that's circled around the observer. He was calculating and writing down precisely 6 gates from which the sun rises on the east and the 6 gates in which the sun sets on the west. And go ahead, we move 5,000 years later. The Book of Enoch made it through the flood on the ark with Noah. It made it down through the time. It ended up being kept in the Ethiopian church and also found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? And Enoch wrote in that book on the course of the heavenly luminaries that the sun rises from the east through 6 gates.
6 gates.
Can you count them for everybody?
Yeah, so we do know that gate number 4 is the center gate right here. So we're at the equinox, we're at gate 4. This is gate 3, 2, 1. So,
and then it turns back about us on its course and heads back towards the north once it reaches its most southerly point, where we are right now today. We're on the most southerly part right now, literally, while I'm speaking. The sun is about to turn around on its course. And Enoch wrote this 5,000 years ago. And it perfectly matches what Andrew Marsh has built here. It doesn't, there's no curve, there's no sphere, there's no moon, there's no sun. We're not flying through the Milky Way galaxy, hurtling towards the Andromeda galaxy. This is built on a fixed and flat plane with a circle of sight around you. And that's exactly what Jason and I have been trying to share with people for 8 years.
So once again, this first window here is gate 1, gate 2, gate 3, gate 4, gate 5, gate 6. And if you watch how the sun moves through the days, you'll see that when it's at this gate here, it goes out, and then it comes back.
The outer gates are smaller due to the fact that the sun goes out half and then comes back half, giving it the same amount of time. Sometimes 28, sometimes 30.
Yep. And then, so if we look inside here, we'll be able to see a little better. If we change our latitude a hair, you're going to see that as you go through the days, you'll see here that that's the analemma. That's the analemma and how the analemma is created.
And there's one more thing I just want to touch upon before we leave the model. If you want to talk about the 23.5 degrees that they say the Earth is tilted on, that's the tilt. So our model is equidistant circles of the luminaries around a fixed observer, tilted depending on latitude. So where you are on the Earth, that's what creates the tilt.
Changing the latitude.
And so if you have this model on the equator, so if you have east and west, you see how you have that east and west line? Jason, does everybody see that where it says east and west? Imagine the equator runs right through that. The furthest the sun is going to move north or south of that equator is 23.5 degrees. Yep. That's it. That is your supposed globe Earth tilt. That's it. It's just the tilt of the heavenly luminaries around you, around me. And it absolutely supports the fact that we live in a virtual reality. Right, where the Creator could send his son, the Christ, and he was able to walk on water. He was given code. He was able to manipulate the reality that we're in. And this is the first time we've even had words that we're even be able to start to scratch the surface of explaining.
Yeah, so here's the 23.5 degrees. Count them out, everybody. 23.5 degrees is the farthest north that you have the sunrise, and 23.5 degrees from east-south. This is the farthest south. You have the sunrise. This is called the ecliptic. This yellow band right here, the sun always stays inside that ecliptic band. And what happens is, because we have the ability for the sun to rise 23.5 degrees here, right, and because we have the ability for it to rise 23.5 degrees here, what happens is, as you change your latitude, if we go to the north here, let's go to the north. You will see that once you get to like 67 degrees, there's enough tilt that the path that the sun is taking here is going to be above the horizon. So 67 degrees north, you are going to have a never setting sun right here. No, we're in the south. And then if we go to the north, we'll get to 67 degrees up there. We have to adjust to our summer solstice.
There it is. And this is what we've been saying for years. I balked at it. I didn't want to believe it because I didn't understand that the sun could actually do this. Jason, you were more into it. You said that the model demanded that the sun would stay above the horizon. Now we searched. We've got it documented. We've got like 8-hour streams where we just do nothing but search the entire internet looking for footage, right? There's still only a few actual evidence videos of the sun not setting in the north and the south, right?
Yep. So this is one of the models that we use. I want to point out this is another model that we use. It's called SunCalc. And what this model does is no matter where you are on Earth, you will see the sun rising out of Earth and setting into Earth. You cannot, with this model, not see that. It's impossible.
And again, it is not a sphere. This is not built off of spherical trigonometry. It's built off of a fixed observer on a flat plane with the rotation of the sun tilted depending on latitude, period.
Yeah,
All you glurfers, you guys are going to get destroyed in a debate.
If I let go of this slider, there is absolutely no movement whatsoever. The only thing that happens when I move the slider is the sun moves and it rotates. Yeah.
The local sun moves, and look at what that's doing right there, Jason. What happened to the sun there when you slid it over to the nighttime position? Look at that. It's going into the ground.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
The sun is literally rising from below the ground?
Yeah. Every single
As it says in the Bible.
Every single model shows that.
You don't want to hate us for it, okay? You know what? Jason and I are just here to witness to the truth. That is it. Listen, everybody that's tuning in, I pray to be used to glorify the Creator and His Son and their creation. We're not doing this for money. We're not doing this. We're not selling T-shirts. We don't have Ko-Fis. We don't have Patreons. We're not selling. We don't have any Flat Earth University. We are out here doing this to glorify the creation. And you know what? Everybody that's tuning in, everybody in the whole entire world, heaven and earth, all the angels, everything is being tested around it. Everything. And we're all getting a score. There's a score being calculated. You guys know that, right? Everybody. Shane, Will Duffy, QN Dummy, everybody. You're all being scored. Everything, all of this, the creation itself was created in such a way for this to take place. And then we will all reap the rewards according to what we did, right? That's it. It's simple.
So all we need, people, is for somebody to help us get this right here, this model, and we want to put it over a 2-pole coordinate system and get rid of this shit stars up in the air like this, because this right here,
the other side of the dome, right? Is that what people believe? That you have to look through daylight, through nighttime to see the stars? Like all this, what it's doing is it's debunking their model.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is them at Union Glacier. I mean, we're at 79.3 degrees south, 82.5 degrees west. This is them at Union Glacier. And when the sun's going around them like this, right? This model says that the sun is over here, right? You look that direction to see the sun, but the sun's over here. And look at this. It's got this part of the model lit up, but I mean,
It needs to be fixed.
It needs to be fixed. This right here has to be done away with. We need to put this over here to use because it's great. This one actually, like the Andrew Marsh that we have only has the sun. But this one has the moon coming up.
Well, we'd like to have all the luminaries, at least the 7. So hang on, let's do a little overtime. Do you have more links?
That's about what I wanted to go through.
Excellent job, Jason. Thank you very much for your patience and for your hard, dedicated work. Let's just quickly live here. Let's just deal with one last thing with the dome, if we could. Could we go to the Strong's Concordance and look at the word rakia and look at the word raka, just so we can get, because this is the largest problem that we have with these fake flat earthers, or maybe Stephen Alonzo is a real flat earther. Maybe just maybe somebody out here that's tuned in, like Run Boston Bear, maybe he does really believe in the Bible and that they think that they have this truth here. But what we really want people to understand. Look at this. Look at this definition. We've got here 7549 Rakia, right? Simple to see. You can even find the Paleo Hebrew if you want to go, and you can search that, and we can show you over on Reality Check Chat. In there, there's a alphabet of the Paleo Hebrew where you can plug in the different characters, not Yiddish, just actual Hebrew. But here we're going to go down to where it says definition. The definition of the word rakia means expanse. Now, the Latin word for that is firmament. And it doesn't mean like firm, like it's hard or firm. No, it means an expanse, the visible arch of the sky. So not a vault, not an angle, not a pyramid, right? The arch. So the luminaries, they rotate and they actually trace the expanse, right? Whereas Saturn is the highest on this expanse, and it has the largest path around the observer. So guess what, everybody? Saturn moves the slowest in the sky, right? And as the luminaries get closer to you, they start to move faster and faster, right? Mercury and Venus, they go really fast, okay? So we get that. Rakia, right? This is what the word that the fake flat earthers, they're trying, like Will Duffy, Joe Hanvey. Joe Hanvey told you what Einstein's theory was. Einstein was created to stop people from believing in something. Joe Hanvey is trying to debunk the Bible. He's a plant. They are absolute fallen angel worshiping devils. So let's find out more about how we can understand what the ground is, because there's different usages of the word rakia, including the word raka.
Let me get a chance with this quick. The word firmament is just a made-up English word that's a newcomer. The definition expanse, that's it. Like firmament. If you look over here, other creditable translations of the Bible say, "Let there be an expanse." Let there be an expanse. It's always the KJV is the Freemason translated Bible that introduced the word firmament. Right, this is a Vatican really screwed up translation in order to support this psyop that's taking place right now. They were actually steel manning back in the 1600s for the Freemason pressurized pizza dome with the creation of this word firmament. So meaning an expanse, firmament, this is made up nonsense, visible arch of the sky. This means what you can see in your circle of sight. All right? But then you wanted to go to Raqqa as well, right?
Yeah, well, we got to keep looking deeper because, people say that stuff is, look at this, look at this. Listen, this is what absolutely just grinds my gears. Okay, people think, wow, what shape is the world? This and that, we're on a sphere. Raqqa literally means a flat, extended surface. Not a curved dome, right? So the term rakia that gets used in the definition of Raqqa, right, where the supported of the heavens are, where the waters below and the waters above, that is talking about the flat earth, the ground that we stand upon, right? It's basic.
Yeah.
Basic. It's just been hidden, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, it is something that we've been covering.
Click on it, sorry.
You want Raqqa?
Yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about this for like 8 years. So here's the one where they'll get the Joe Hanvey's. Raqqa, he's beating it out strong like a molten looking glass, right? Raqqa is the ground, right? To pound the earth, not the dome. Look at that, meaning to pound the earth. Earth, earth, earth. The heavens are above the earth. The waters, the ocean, the Marianas Trench is the waters below, right? And my heart, it struggles sometimes because we've been saying this. So I argued with Rob Skiba. I was one of the first people to go, hey, Rob, excuse me, what you're saying doesn't match the Bible. This Hebrew cosmology that you're selling is wrong. And you know what Rob did? He blocked me. Right, and I came back with multiple accounts over and over again. He tried to turn the encampment of Moses, which is a rectangle shape, he tried to turn that into a circus tent. to support, to steel man the ice wall domed earth. And again, we're showing you what the dome is. The word raka, to beat, to spread out, to stretch, to stamp, is actually talking about the ground, the earth.
Yep. Rakia is an extended surface, an expanse.
Skeebers.
Expanse.
I hope that
visible arch of the sky.
I hope Bob Nodell was forgiven. I have a good heart. I don't want to see anybody burn in the lake of fire for eternity. I don't want that. What do you think I'm doing with my time? But let there be an expanse. And the word expanse, Yahawashai showeth his handiwork. Joe Hanvey, sounds like Handy, right? From the Saturday Night Live skit. He's trying to tell you that that's a beaten out dome that the sky reflects off of, when it's talking about the precision placement of the beautiful luminaries that sing a song that you can see, that move across the sky like the most beautiful piano player ever created. You know, the pianos that just play, they play a song. So too do the stars. And we don't have enough time to actually get into talking about the different constellations and how there's the 12 houses of the zodiac and how they're also involved, and how we can actually show you how we've actually been traveling through the 6,000 years due to the precession. This is what the advanced course on cosmology should be, and it's free. We're not giving out diplomas. Jason and I have been begging for people to just learn, to just want to have the drive or the passion to just investigate things. And what do we get? We get people like QN Dummy who makes us eat shit. Right? Jason, how much money we've spent, me and you, on this? Our own money, our own time?
It's not a big
have
deal.
No idea. If we wanted to be Satanists, we could destroy Joe Hanvey and Will Duffy easily. We could make them look like turds. Nobody would ever see it coming. We could do it. But you know what? We actually care about truth. That's what we care about. We're here, and I do believe that everybody that's tuning in, they're all being tested. I'm being tested. Jason's being tested. It's just a constant test. Again, this is the last time, probably won't be the last time we talk about this, but Rakia, strong 7549. I don't care if Fartzoid wants to bring it up. It means dome. Okay, it literally means the expanse, the vast, great expanse, the sky where the birds fly, the sun and the moon, right? And all the luminaries, they fly in the expanse. They're not stuck in a solid dome. They actually fly and move throughout this expanse. And I want you to think about it, Jason, as a virtual reality. So once the virtual reality, the program was turned on, right? It's on. First, he created a vast expanse, right? Or obviously the water, right? And then the light was turned on, the day and night. And then he rose the earth up out from that area. First, he fixed it upon nothing. All this completely makes sense when you look at the earth being created as a virtual reality. And then we get Raka, which is the beaten out, strong, molten, like a what do they say, strong copper, or whatever the words they try to liken it unto the way that they used to make mirrors back in the time when they wrote the scriptures. That's how mirrors were made. They pounded on metal until it was flat and smooth and you could see yourself in it. But an extended surface or an expanse is the word Raka. It's not Rakia. It's not talking about a dome in the sky. This is literally the word talking about how the extended earth plane was created. Right? I just really hope that people understand that. That's all my heart is, just towards the truth and just to share the Creator's truth and His Son. That's it. That's all I've ever wanted to do.
Yeah, we probably ran out of time for tonight, but coming up, I want to show everybody we've got a way that you can actually calculate the size of the sun, and that's using angular measurements, and we'll show people how to do that. You'll be able to calculate the size of the sun at whatever elevation you are.
Feet?
Whatever elevation you're at, and the distance that you can see to the horizon, you'll be able to know how big the sun is using the angular calculations. So there's so much more to get through. but it's not going to happen tonight. The next podcast is probably going to be us having to defend the observations that were made in Antarctica.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been great, brother.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to, obviously, first and foremost, YD, the best moderator on YouTube. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Absolutely wonderful. It was such a nice time to spend with you guys, especially new people. And shout out again to Flat Bob, someone that's going through all the old content and asking questions. And those questions are going to get turned into teaching moments for other people. Shout out to Zworst. Shout out to Seth. Shout out to all of you guys. J Skills. I don't ever give you guys time. You know, you go to other people's channels. They bring you on the panel. They put the things on. They put the comments on the screen. We wish that we had a community like that where we could trust the people. But you guys know what happens. People just come in. They try to porn bomb. They put a bunch of swearing in, right? But we are grateful that you guys come here tonight. And you know what? It's the Heavenly Father, the Creator, and His Son, the Christ, right? The King of all kings, the ruler of this realm. They're the ones that are here and with us and watching and enjoying this time together. And soon enough, we are going to have that righteous place. And we're not going to have to deal with all these Will Duffys, these Judases anymore. I mean, but they did serve a purpose, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's 3 models of reality, and it's time for y'all to choose. And I think you've got the information that you need now to be able to make an accurate choice.
Yeah.
So
stay tuned for Jason's video coming up explaining the basics on what it means to be on this team.
Yeah, the introductory course, how to get started.
And it's for free, too. It's free. Actually, Jason's going to spend time and money creating it for free for you, for everybody that wants to tune in.
All right, where's
Enoch, too?
Where's the only place people are going to get this content, brother?
Definitely not on Will Duffy's channel. You're only going to get this on the Yahawashai News Networks.
I'm running out of seconds, need to know that you're alright. Oh, I'm feeling this emotion cause I got you by my side. Oh, I know that you're the one for me. I feel it every time I hear you speak. You give me meaning and it feels so right. I'm always getting lost in your bright eyes. You and me stargazing, biting on my tongue, can't say it. You're the one that I want, the one that I wanna hold all my life. You and me stargazing, no matter what we're facing. You're the one that I want, the one that I wanna hold all my life. Every moment that we share feels like paradise. Oh, I see our future shining. It's a love that never dies. Oh, I know